All right. Cha. Oh, it says session 2. That's a lie. It is session 3.
Session 2000.
3. There we go. Session 3. Yes, we're playing Torchbearer. I'm GM. These are my friends. Congratulations, friends,
Allegedly.
on being friends with me.
Hello, fellow.
Excellent. How's that work?
Surprise
Well,
you win. I don't know.
We each have Patreons that he pays us to be friends.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Well, you can sign up for my Patreon to be my friend, and I'll call you once a month.
It's going against the contract here, Tyler.
That's true. Me talking about this is conflicting with your Patreon, but you pointed out is conflicting with my Patreon rules. This is a mess already.
Yeah, this is. We should just scrap this whole conversation really and start the game.
Fair enough.
All right. So last time, who wants to deliver the last time prologue? I believe.
I was the last one to do it.
Yeah, Matthias was the last one to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I wasn't there, so I can't do it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So if you do the last time, just a reminder, the previously on prologue, you gain the ability to heal up or do something. So you can alleviate a condition all the way up to injured or sick, but not including them. If you have no conditions, you would receive a point of tax nature.
Yep.
All right. I can do my best to deliver the prologue of the accounts of last time.
Sure.
Do you have a condition?
I don't. Unless somebody does, I'll be more than happy to do it.
Do you have any tax nature?
I do not.
Okay, then I should probably do it because I do have a point of tax nature.
Ooh. Okay.
Unless someone else has a condition.
I do not.
Okay.
How did you get a condition? You stayed with your parents.
Okay.
They fed you.
Because he was running defense for me.
That's true.
Okay, hold on, I'm just pulling up.
Oh yeah, are you angry, Chris?
No, I recovered from that.
Oh yeah, okay. You're just your tax.
But
nature.
I just have tax nature, so.
Oh, right.
Perfect. All right, so deliver that tasty prologue that
Will do. Just
gives us a reminder of all the events that led up to now.
I can give you a backing track if you wish.
I can give a backing track, but I don't know what the volume is. Hopefully, here. Hopefully it's not too loud.
We need some Faerunic hip hop.
Oh, that's kind of loud.
Also, I'm not sure how
There.
mood fitting it is. It was actually a fairly jolly session, all things considered.
Oh, Dolly, you say.
We made it to Elfheim. We pierced the Silver Seal and were able to safely get message back to the home of the elves, which has been sealed off for decades. And yeah, I went and met with my parents, who put me up, and delivered a message that the forest has been like the rangers who were sent out so long ago failed in their mission and were mostly killed, and the forest has degraded further. Unfortunately, this news was met with pretty much like a shrug. They're kind of like just generally mad that it didn't work, and they're not really willing to devote more resources. No sense sending good money after bad. So I decided that it would be best to try and fix the problem myself and prove to them that the Rangers are still something that's worthy of their attention. But unfortunately, I had to undertake all of this alone because my fellow party members acted like vagrants sleeping on the streets and got themselves thrown out of town.
Yeah.
Pretty much immediately.
There's no acting. I was a vagrant.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They weren't acting like vagrants. They were vagrants, and
there was no parlay.
Summarily ejected from the town, which is unfortunate for them.
Damn elitists.
Anyway, the long and the short of it was we are now endeavoring to, fix up the forest on our own. But in order to do that, we need to, seek out what's going on here, and to do that, we need to get some treasure. So we managed to find a goblin hideout where they were stashing some treasure, and waited for them to leave the camp in the evening. We hid from them successfully, and then robbed them blind. And that's about where we're at right now.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, perfect.
Cool.
Do your thing. Gain a point of tax nature back.
5 out of 5.
All right. Now that we do that, Andrew, you missed last session, or Talia missed last session, so you get to deliver a kind of where they've been. Let me give you the quick rule about it. Meanwhile, missing a session. Yeah. You get to alleviate one condition except injured or sick in recovery order. If you have no conditions, you get to restore a point of attack nature. If they have neither conditions nor tax nature, they may note a test for advancement. Because you're injured, but you can't cure that, I'll let you do the test for advancement. I don't see why.
Okay.
I think you should be able to get that cool fitting thing. Yeah.
Which thing? Oh,
This
sure,
is,
yeah.
This is the cool bonus thing, because that's what you're supposed to get.
Okay, sure. I didn't realize I couldn't do injured, so I'll have to change the story a little bit. So they just won't have mended my wounds, and instead of becoming uninjured, I'll just gain a fail on fighter test. So basically what happened to Talia is the reason she disappeared is because when everybody wasn't looking, she fell backwards and stumbled through a tear in the magic that was used to hold together the different portals that connect the forest. And she stumbled right into like an elven meeting. And as she was surrounded, she drew her sword, and as Talia does, prepared to defend herself, and immediately sort of engaged into like a violent reaction. But being injured, the elves quickly overpowered her and basically took pity on her, essentially subdued her. And then when she relaxed, she was able to explain that she had got separated from her group, that they were somewhere in this goddamn forest. And essentially they let her off with a warning and reunited her with the party. So she pops out of a like a flash of light in the forest, and you see her almost like fall forward. And she's like, "Oh my god, hi! You would not believe where I've been."
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, you lost a fight. That's good. That sounds good. Mark that test. Now, we simply do our these things goals. If you're not changing your belief, I guess don't really. You can just remind us what it is, and just quickly move on. Who wants to do theirs first? Do you want to do Talia because you were talking?
Sure. And sorry, just to check, because I'll do my belief first is it is better to act than hesitate. I don't think I'm going to change that. It's pretty core to who Talia is. But my goal was make my first paycheck. So since I missed last session, have we kind of finished that arc? Like, is that whole mission to do what we were doing in the forest done, or are we still doing that?
You're still doing that.
Okay, perfect. So I'll keep that.
Well,
We all got just kicked out of town.
They weren't happy about it.
So
You were led to believe that someone would
We're
be
able to
happy
help.
about it and pay you, and they weren't happy about it and kick you out of the town.
Okay.
although if you were here, we did get a bunch of gold and stuff from these goblins.
Right, but we didn't get we didn't complete our job essentially.
Well, we don't really have a job anymore. This is more like a personal mission at this point.
It's a
Okay.
passion project.
So maybe this is a personal. So basically, we got fired.
Basically, they're like, "Great, you you informed us of the bad stuff and opened the way to the bad stuff. I guess we're gonna leave the continent.
Okay.
They're talking it over right now.
They're like debating. They're
They're
gonna
definitely
enter.
not going to do anything proactive about it anytime soon.
Okay. So maybe I'll work on that goal after I have a better sense of what we're doing now, just because it sounds like we failed that goal.
Now that you got money, you could go back and like try to like bribe people to talk to them or do something
For
else
instance,
entirely.
like my new goal is to get the elves to help us reclaim the forest. For instance,
Okay.
because right now they aren't. But if we prove to them that we are having success in, then they might think it's worth their time
Okay.
and not leave the continent.
Okay. Well, I'm tempted to make it generic, but I'll leave it open for now. And my instinct right now is when in camp, cook a meal because Talia is very hungry.
Okay.
Oh, sick! That reminds me, I got this really cool item last time, but I guess I'll tell you about that later.
Okay.
I'll go next since I've already said my goal. My instinct will be to make poultices in camp, and my belief in creed will remain unchanged. Belief being opposing those who act against nature at every turn, and my creed being that humans can't be trusted to preserve the natural world.
Okay. That's a kind of hilarious goal considering most of your party is humans, except the dwarf.
Well, they can't. They're not like evil. They just can't be trusted.
Yeah.
They're not
Mhm.
malicious. They just don't get it.
I just don't know.
They need an elf to set them straight, like me.
Humans just don't understand.
There you go. I mean, the elves that took pity on me would agree with you.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's- Humans, there's nothing wrong with humans. They just don't get it.
Humans are the ain't nothing but trouble.
Sure.
I could.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you go next, Tyler.
Alright. Well, my instinct, as always, is when in camp, make incendiary devices. I'm really thankful for the new creed function in Torchbearer 2 because I think my belief fits better as a creed. So my creed is anything worth doing is worth doing in style. My belief is helping others never goes out of style.
Okay.
I should
Yeah.
change-
Those
I
are.
should change it to, like, charity never goes out of style. I want to be stylish. I want people to say nice things about me. Like, you can, I don't know, you can be a braggart, but respectable, I think.
Your goal to be a respectable bragger.
Yeah. Like, damn, he's an asshole, but if he's not a good person.
Okay. Is your goal staying the same to?
I feel like I've failed to impress our new friends as we have been kicked out of town and one has disappeared into a void. So I feel like I have not left a good impression.
Are you gonna keep that as a goal, or are you gonna change it?
I believe I'm gonna change it, but I'm gonna wait a second to think about it. Though,
Yeah, you
since I gotta
can.
worry about
We'll
myself.
just hear whatever, and then I'll talk about.
Yeah.
I guess we'll give you a moment to talk about where you off to next.
Yeah.
So
I'm still in the same boat as like Tyler. I'm keeping my belief, creed, instinct all the same, but my goal is to still get aid from the elves. But I don't know if we're still doing that, so I will also wait until I give the
I
beginning
got a
party.
goal now.
okay.
Sorry, Steve.
And-
I got a goal now just as you said that.
Ardor Clean Crafter.
Yeah, not much has changed. I will never trust an elf. I still haven't been shown a reason why that should change. My goal is to find and kill Claflund Elmingrad, who is my enemy, who is supposedly in Alfheim. But since we got kicked out of there, I haven't been able to do that yet. And my instinct is to always repair the equipment of my party. And until last session, we didn't have anybody with equipment that needed to be repaired.
Me!
Now that I is back, I can help.
Fix my helmet, please.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I guess where are you guys going next? Are you going further into the woods to find and rout out trouble / corruption? You going to the kind of corrupted first tree, the symbolic home of the Rangers, and now, I guess, pinnacle of center point of the corruption that's encased in the forest, or are you gonna try to route out why the burning forest has A, been burning, and B, has stopped burning? Or are you just going back to town to
I wanna
try to
go back
convince them?
I want to go back
Um,
to town to kill Claflin.
To kill who?
My enemy. He's supposedly in town.
He's in town now.
Which town?
Okay.
That was the whole reason for me to come on this. Is
Yeah,
to
he's in
find this
Elfwin.
guy.
Or Elfheim, he was there.
Not
Oh, Elfheim
nice.
is a town? For some reason, I thought Elfheim was like the forest.
Yeah, it's just a normal town basically.
It's like
Oh,
a
okay.
special elven town. When you guys got there, you got a new awesome treasure thing,
Mm,
which was a
I see.
whey bread or something.
That's what I was going to tell you about. That I got this cool new bread.
I think my
What does
goal
it do?
for this session will be to win the
Hold on.
respect
let
of
me
the elves.
check.
I think it
Win the respect of the elf.
it's like
Elves, yeah.
it's pack. I think it's
Pack 1 with 6. Like it's basically food, but it's pack 1 with 6 servings, which is really efficient. And also, it's really good to cook with. I think I don't remember the exact
Yeah,
rule.
so it's basically functionally preserved rations, so it doesn't spoil on entering towns and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it cooks like fresh rations, so it's easier to cook with, and
Okay.
it's like super dense, I guess. You don't need
Try
to
and
eat a
cook
lot
with
of
it,
it.
and not eat it as hardtack as we have to.
Mhm.
Unlike Frodo, the loser, just ate all his. He's like, whatever.
His lembas bread?
Yeah, his lembas bread. He's just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat it. Nah, you cook with it, bro. Come on. Everyone knows that.
Big brain.
I guess
Okay,
they were in
excellent.
Mordor or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
It's basically just a hard thing of vitamins.
But yeah, we should probably find. I mean, we should probably find what's causing all of this foresty badness. You know.
Okay. Wait. Sorry, Talia has a
Good idea.
question.
Mhm.
Because I didn't set my goal yet. But I think I'm going to keep it actually as make my first paycheck. Because her mission is basically to get paid. Like she still hasn't got paid. So she's like just desperately trying to finish the job. So is this like something
Well-
we're going to get paid for?
Well,
Mm,
I mean, we've got a bunch of gold already, just from
Yep.
fighting all of those or stealing all the stuff from those goblins.
So wait, does Talia get to share that?
I mean, yeah,
If you need to do something
Generally-
Okay.
in town, basically, you can think of gold as like this kind of abstract thing in town that lets you do town stuff. So if you need
Mhm.
to do a lot of town stuff or talk to people in town, you're gonna have to bribe people to find out where they are because you're adventurers. You don't like spend time walking around town. You walk up to the nearest person and hand them a bag of gold and be like, demand where they are, and then that guy kind of helps figures it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, there's presumably like there's a lot of like minor stuff that kind of gets hand waved away. Like like obviously like because like in theory you can go to town without any gold and then just like run up a tab and then leave, but
Okay.
yeah, like you promise people gold or something. You'll be like, hey, I'll give you this or something.
good for
I'll
it.
pay
It's-
you later.
It's all promises, and until all the promises they all kind of filter in, and then they all go to the bill collector and feel like these guys owe me something. Get it before they leave town.
Mhm.
This is bleeding too much into my real life.
Wait, no, I only ask because. Sorry, so Tyler. So what's your character's name again?
Corbusier.
Oh no, sorry, not Tyler. Chris.
Oh,
Elfwin, right?
Yep.
And you're trying to retake the forest for the elves.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so if we've accomplished getting paid, and if you're sharing in the goal, I'll see that as myself being paid. So Talia's gonna make her new goal to help Elfwin retake the forest because that seems challenging and noble. And she's basically a sword for hire, so she wants to do something that she sees as helping the common good.
And since we're going to Elfheim, my goal is to win the respect of the elves.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, in order to get back to Elfheim, we'll need money to grease palms, and we'll need hopefully to have some successes. So stealing from these goblins is a good start, but yeah. I mean, we've been to the first tree before.
Yeah, it was very dangerous to be there.
It was like in the center of this decay zone.
Oh, you can actually fast travel there. It's on map.
Not from here, but
No, but if you go back.
Might be worthwhile to do that. But also, we can like just explore this region here, this like burnt out air region as well. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff here that's interesting and worth investigating further, like why it was burning and why it stopped. That might also be something that we could investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Tough to say.
So wait, so while I was gone, you guys got kicked out of town. And now the elves. Okay, okay. Talia nods and kind of looks at the rest of the group. Ah, yes, of course. So it wasn't the elf. So everyone else got kicked out of town, and now we're on bad terms with the people we're trying to help.
Not really. They're not like bad terms. They are just like not convinced that they should do anything about this. They're like, maybe we're just gonna leave the continent instead of.
So they're just gonna abandon it, but you're sticking it out to take the forest back.
Yeah, well, I'm an adventurer, so I'm like pathological. I don't feel despair and want to go into the gray mists of the east.
Pathological.
In this world forever. I actually. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Talia kind of laughs at you, like
for
slaps on the back. Talia's amused by your hardy nature. Okay, well, I think you're probably right. We should probably go investigate something.
Wait, so this is just a money run, right? That's what it sounds like.
Is it? I thought we were trying to figure out some more about this forest so we could do something about it.
I thought we were trying to get back into Elfwine or Elf something.
Well, but we do need like stock up some treasure before we can go back.
Oh, okay, so we are looking to just
twofold.
get something to go back to town.
My goal is get some swanky treasure.
Oh, okay. If it's not swanky enough, will you mark it as?
It's not enough.
Oh, okay. So if it's like copper, it's like not enough.
Yeah.
How are you gonna appraise that it's swanky?
I already know.
In this heart of hearts. Okay, that's cool.
You have my respect.
I think it might be. Let's stick closer to home for now. I mean, we can go investigate the first tree whenever we want, but we haven't really explored the burnt out forest. So I think maybe that'll be the focus for today, at the very least. I am still curious why it was burning and why it has now stopped. Is there like smoke on the horizon anywhere, Sean, that we can see?
Not anymore. Actually, maybe. Yeah. There is smoke on the horizon. Actually, it's hard to see because like the trees are tall, but like many of them, at least in these edges where you are, don't have leaves anymore. So you can kind of see, kind of like to the south, a ways, like a thin kind of gray, wispy thing. It's just like someone's having like a campfire, or like a chimney kind of like thing. Not like. Whereas, like, the whole area was, like, engulfed in smoke. It's definitely not that, but there is smoke on the horizon.
Well, you guys want to head that way? See what happens? See what's going on?
Talia, ready to restore. It appears very ready.
Not particularly. No.
Hey, wherever there's trouble, there's gold to be had.
But we need to get back into town.
I mean, we need money to get back into town.
We have money. We just stole a bunch of money.
What are goblin pelts worth?
We also have my gold plate.
You mean the tile?
Which you all laughed at me about?
Talia didn't laugh.
Tile.
I mean, I still wouldn't bet on your ability to sell that for anything, at least in an elf town. I
Oh,
where
you
did the elf
underestimate
come
my
from
ability
again?
to haggle away. I can sell anything. Anything.
we have, I think, what, like a gem and some copper pieces and some silver pieces. I think that's about it.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
that's enough to stay a night.
Not really.
Because everyone needs
That's
one.
that's enough for like, yeah, that's enough for like half of our group to not stay the night.
I don't want to get kicked out again.
We need at least we need like 8 dice of treasure before we can go back. At least.
Really.
Well,
Well,
you only need 4 dice of treasure, really.
Okay, but if you want to actually do anything,
If you want to do something other than stay there, yeah, you probably need something else.
so we need
If
like
you do
50
have,
to get anything done while in town.
if
If
you
you have
do,
4, it's basically just like you go in, you rest up, you leave.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. If you have,
How many do we have?
Well,
3 or 4?
objects can't be taken apart. So your thing is like we're 3 dice, but really it's only 2 for you. So that's 1 object. The gem is the same. I think it's worth like 2 or 3 dice.
I think it's 2.
But it
for gem?
can't be taken apart. And the copper and the silver, the other kind of coins, they're each worth 1. So
We need more.
if someone's really rich, they have resources, but then they're really risking risking it. Just letting you know, because if you fail, I could tax you, and your resource stat, which you were trying to increase over time, could go down. It just kind of your buying power. You'll be able to be more successful at buying stuff, and that's not even like going to the market. Market rolls are separate from cost of living. So if you actually want to replenish stuff, you want to have a bit more stock.
So yeah, like I said, at the very least, you want 6 to 8 dice worth of treasure before going to town, just because otherwise you're gonna end up like what happened last time. Everyone sleeps on the streets, and then terrible things happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that reminds me. You guys have horses, and Elfheim doesn't have stables, but it's such a bountiful place that your horses can stay for free.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say. Usually, when you camp, you'll have to pay for your 3 of you have horses, I think, right? Corbusier, Roman, and Elfheim have horses, so they would have to pay for the stables. But then usually you could sleep in the stables also.
That's another thing. I guess we got to get horses for you guys, but not from Elfheim. They don't have any. But
I don't know about that. I like
How
to
do
have
people
my
get
feet
around
on
in
the ground.
Elfheim?
okay.
Do they eat horses in Elfheim?
Who knows?
I feel Elfheim would.
Well, we don't
It's
really
so
need to get
weird.
around very much.
Oh,
We're stuck where we were until now.
Let's go and look for.
So does everyone have the appropriate goal, and they're all good, and we can start?
I believe so.
I suppose.
Perfect.
Let's go look at the smoky part of the forest.
Smoky part of the forest. I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna say obstacle. I'll say it's ob 3, because there's like a landmark, or actually no, let's say ob 4, but you give a bonus dice because there's like an area you can kind of follow in that direction.
Okay. So it's ob 4.
Yeah, but you get a bonus dice.
Bonus die.
Is anyone helping you? You're not ensuring help.
I can help you. What
Sorry,
do
this
you
is for
roll?
what?
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
to
so I'm-
find.
My way to the.
Sorry.
What's the
Uh,
roll for?
So
Yeah, sorry, you
Pathfinder,
cut at the end
presumably.
there.
the role is to get to these, like, find the small smoke, because this forest was burning, and it was big pluming smoke, this whole area, but now the only smoke on the horizon is kind of like this thin wisp in the south, And Elfwin is like, well, let's go check that out because there could be gold. Or that's basically what you're looking at. There's a problem with the forest, but we're looking for gold.
So it's a Pathfinder quest?
Yeah,
To
it's a
get to
Pathfinder
the-
test to get to.
I can use Scout,
to
right?
get that. Yep.
Yes.
Can you anymore?
Yep. Scout and cartographer.
I will
There you
help you
go.
then. I will sniff for smoke.
I will say that helps.
Mm.
But hilariously, the whole forest kind of smells like smoke because it's been smoking for
Well, I-
maybe over better part of a few years, maybe more, probably more.
Well, I vibe check the smoke to know it's the smoke we're looking for.
Okay. Or fresh smoke, maybe.
Okay.
I was gonna say, the thicker, more the direction where you're headed, so it still should work.
Yeah.
How your like your dog knows how recently you've been home because it can smell how strong your scent is in the house.
Yeah. Dogs know if you've been eating meatloaf or not.
Talking about dogs, I'm just gonna let my Nova out to go to the washroom. I'll be
Okay.
right back. If you're getting help, just describe it and hopefully make sure it falls in line.
Even, I mean, I can't force people to help. So.
So, and there's restrictions on what you can help with, right?
If you there's if you go into the bar,
Google
there's
Drive, yeah.
a Google Drive link, and one of them is skills that help or skill helpers.
Skill
Click on
helpers.
that, and yeah, I'd keep that tab open if I were you because it's really useful.
Okay.
So for Finder, the skills, Scout and Cartographer help, and you can also always help with the same skill that I'm using.
Okay.
Hey, really? I did not know that.
can
It
always
makes
help.
sense.
You can always help with the same skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Okay. Well, then I will try and help you with my own Pathfinder because I'm actually quite a good Pathfinder myself. With the rating of 4. So you're trying to find your way to just where the smoke is coming from?
Where the smoke is thickest.
Where the smoke is thickest. Okay. Well, I'll basically like split off from you and like go a separate direction and then come back with you to like triangulate what we've seen. Like essentially like smoke density or like signs of like what like burning trees and like just what it looks like this smoke inner fire may have traveled through. And then we can kind of compare notes. So basically just speeding up your process so you don't have to like travel as much ground. That's what I'm thinking. So hopefully Sean thinks that's horror. Hopes that feels that significant. Also, there's this you can use fate to learn from help. Can you do that whenever?
Yeah, if you this is new actually for second edition.
Yeah, this is new. I have no idea.
Okay, because I'm gonna
If you
spam the shit out of that.
help a successful test, you can spend a point of fate to mark, or maybe you can just I don't know. I ask Sean, but
Mhm.
I can look up if he doesn't know.
Okay, I am back.
Sean, we're
Rolling.
wondering exactly how spending fate works to mark advancement.
Okay,
You can
I
do
think
it.
it's before the roll. You spend the fate, or let me
Mhm.
actually let me check. It might be after the roll, but I believe it's before the roll. And then whatever the result is, you get to mark for that skill you use to help.
Yeah.
Okay.
When helping another player, the helper may spend one fate before the dice are cast to learn
Okay.
from the experience. If
Yeah.
they pass, you mark a pass. If it's a fail, you mark a fail.
So if you're
Okay.
helping with Scout, you'll be advancing Scout.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Okay, cool. I get it. 'Cause I was hoping to help with my own Pathfinder.
But if you don't have it, you
And-
can't. You don't know how to help with that skill.
But I do. Actually, I'm quite a good Pathfinder. I have rating 4,
Okay.
and so I was like, oh, I'll help Elfwin find out where the smoke is thickest. Because basically, it sounds like that's what he's trying to do.
Whenever
It's like
whatever I
so.
get, you get.
So. Sorry.
We
You
did it.
succeed.
Okay.
Mark success.
Cool. See, I'm just helping him find out. Like, I'm basically cutting his time in half by splitting up with him.
Yep.
Is the idea.
He described how he was helping earlier, and I thought it was very convincing. Just FYI.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if Sean was there or not.
That's fine. I like it.
He trusts.
Okay. Excellent. The voucher of the group.
Bam.
Not here.
You find.
Oh, hey, it's a house that I've never seen before.
You find a kind of cottage, kind of sitting on a tree stump, in the shape of like a talon, and in between, I guess, the center talon or whatever, just like some steps that lead up to the front of the house. So the stump is kind of huge. Of note, you can see like claw, like kind of footprints, huge ones, kind of leading up to the house as if it was moving. It is now here, and there's you can see the kind of soft glow coming from probably fire. Oh, what happened? Am I just in freehand? I'm not in line. Okay. Trying to connect it.
Okay. So we followed the smoke to get here. Do we see where that might be coming from?
It's coming from this house.
Wow. Okay.
Right. It's
And
there's a little campfire, or like I guess a kitchen, a little chimney stack, and there's like a thin white smoke coming out.
Right. And we see that there's like claw marks all over the ground going up.
Yeah. Up to like giant, like, you know, imagine like T-Rex claws, but only like one, like footprints, and like hopping, and then it kind of stops at the house, as if the house moved here from the start.
Oh. We okay. I see.
You can kind of see someone moving on the inside, going about their day a little bit. You could probably the curtains are pulled, and there's curtains, but they're kind of wispy and like old and full of holes, moth eaten, and so you can kind of like see like a silhouette kind of moving about, going this way and that way to like the kitchen and to like the other part of the house and going back. Not just like a single person, not like multiple people.
Suppose we had best mind our manners, but we can approach, I suppose.
Okay.
I
so
warn-
sorry, who's
I,
running around?
I warn everyone to like be respectful, and it's very likely that whoever this person is, they're very powerful.
I adjust my
Okay.
hat.
So I'm gonna walk up and knock.
Okay. The door opens and there's kind of like a middle-aged woman opening it and greeting you. She says, "Hello. What a wonderful day to be out and about, or rather, evening, I guess."
I look up at the sky and think about what she said and said, "I suppose so."
Says, Of course. I'm making stew. Would you want to come in?"
Perhaps I might ask you a question first, if I may.
Is this a human lady?
She looks human. She's like, I don't know, 30, 40-ish. She's dressed in kind of like a raggedy old cloak. Kind of the smell of like stew and maybe pie is wafting from her house. There's like a big black cauldron kind of bubbling middle. Not the middle, but like the middle of one of the rooms, like under a hearth. And yeah, she seems very human-like. Yeah, there's an intense sort of power you feel when she like looks at people, but it's only like this like back of your mind kind of feeling, not nothing like too tangible as far as you can tell.
So I asked her if I could ask her a question. What did she say?
And she says, depends on the question, but feel free to ask away.
Oh, Talia steps back.
As you can see, I am an elf, and as may or may not have reached your ears, the sealed realm of Elfheim has recently been opened. And it is a source of great consternation to the elves that the wood has degenerated to such a state. And I gesture vaguely at things.
She's like, yes, of course. I had to move my house further into the forest. Such things as they are.
Yes, I wonder if you could inform me on what has been going on while the elves have been absent.
I sense a convinced conflict coming on, or rather maybe not. Let's see, because she just wants. She has something she wants you to agree to do first, and then she'll tell you. But you can probably get that information if you convince her to for free if you want. Would you wish to enter a convince conflict? Persuader?
Sure, why not? Let's do it. I love convinced conflicts.
Excellent. Everyone feel free to join if you wish to talk and convince her. The purpose of your convinced conflict. Oh, it's like, do I have thing? Oh, I do not have it. Oh wait, I do. And let me double check if did I bring you over to the convince. All right. Shoop. Let us see if the convince things has changed. We'll find conflicts.
Oh, excuse me.
Conflicts. Conflicts makes the world go round. Intent. Convince. Convince to persuade another person to act on their behalf. Yeah, telling you. Yeah, she does not. She wants to keep her secrets. She's secrety.
Secret.
So this position is persuader. Adding it to will. There's probably a disposition macro. Any one of you could be the conflict captain if you so choose. But Elfwin, by necessity, has to be in the convinced conflict.
Does anyone have persuader?
Yeah, Talia's not so good with words. I think she's gonna sit it out because she's she's gonna let you do the talking. She's like, yeah.
I have persuader.
Feel free to join and use your card of battle against yourself and demand stuff. Who knows?
If you have persuader or manipulator as skills, like this would be a good time.
I do have manipulator.
Yeah. So it's persuader. Persuader is for attack and defend, and manipulator's for feint and maneuver. Okay, yeah, that is correct.
I mean, like if you have, do what you want. You don't have to join if you don't want to, or you can even if you have neither. But
So
I mean,
We're
Yeah.
here to
I'll
get her
join in.
secret.
We're trying to convince her to tell us what she knows.
Hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah,
Talia
I'll
is
join.
like still suffering broken ribs, and I think she's kind of afraid of this woman. So I'm tempted.
Fair enough.
She's tempted to
You
just
don't
like
have
sit it out and be like, watch. But
Okay.
I'm not afraid. I'll join.
All right.
She
Uh,
must know treasure locations. I'll join.
Sure. She has a disposition of. I can vaguely remember. Maybe I wrote it down. Oops. Ah, yes. Cool. I did write it down. She has a convinced disposition of 5.
All right. So I'm in. Who else is in?
I'm in.
Me.
I'm in.
All right. So Andrew's gonna sit out, but the rest of us are all in. Cool.
yeah, Talia
That's
is
the best persuader.
patiently watching from behind. She's like just doesn't want to get involved.
Who has persuader?
I
Yeah.
I do.
What's your levels? What's your rating?
2.
Okay, so either one of you make a disposition roll for persuader.
Okay. Just rolling persuader, right?
Both of us or just one of us?
How about let's make Matthias the conflict captain because he's new.
They can learn. Well, I would recommend. Normally, I would say whoever has the higher will, but you go ahead and do it, Mateus,
Yeah.
because that's also
Yeah.
relevant. You go ahead and do it.
So the conflict captain basically you take the information everyone else has and you play the cards and determine the order that they act in. On their behalf. Of course, you could be a group collaborator, but it doesn't necessarily need to be. All in the effort of making this go a bit quicker, I think. I'm gonna play my cards and then you guys can talk. But yeah, roll persuader, then add it to your will number. That'll be your total kind of hit points, and it gets divided evenly amongst you.
And what am I rolling against? This is the
Nothing.
first
It's
or
just
second?
disposition roll.
You click on the skill. There should be a subset for disposition. That's relevant.
Disposition. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And am I adding helpers or aids?
Yeah. You get a helper
Yeah.
dice. For everyone who has
One or-
persuader.
The one who's
So,
You have to have
so
persuader
how
though.
many people?
I don't have persuader, so
I do not.
So
you
only
only
get
get
one helping dice.
Okay.
This is precedence.
disposition rolls have all kinds of rules.
Okay. And I add the will, right?
No, I think just roll, and I think it might add it for you, but you're just rolling
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
dice
does.
right now.
You
See
have
how
to
many
pick.
successes you have.
Okay. Did it roll? There we
So
go.
3 successes, which you roll all successes plus a will of 3, so it's a total of 6. There's 4 of you, so everyone gets 1.
And 2 of us get
Yeah.
2.
So you, as the conflict captain, get to decide who gets 2. So 2 people get 2. Yes, who do those people?
Wait, I'm still new to this. Two what?
Disposition of 2. So you roll
Disposition
total
is
of 6.
Let's
So-
explain what disposition is.
So disposition is kind of like your hit points. I have hit points. You have hit points. Whoever gets to 0 wins, but reducing the other side's to some fraction can win you a compromise. So they functionally, if you are or get to 0, you're out of the conflict.
Okay.
So we have 6 between all 4 of us.
Oh yeah, so there's what's it called? Precedence or whatever.
Relevant here? Yeah. I
Yeah,
guess we should.
she's gonna have precedence of 4.
Okay.
So she thinks 1 higher than you.
So I have to pick 2 people to have 2.
Yeah. Just because you
And the
divide
other
it
guy?
evenly, but then conflict captains break the ties.
I see.
I'll take 1
Um,
because it's better to have more attack than defense, and persuaders are attack.
sure. And I
If you
guess
have Persuader, then that would be good.
I think
take the
Corbusier
other
is
one.
a convinced machine.
Convince machine.
Because he has a
I'm a
magic
conv-
cloak. And
Oh yeah.
I'm a convinced machine.
that gives, and also I think gives him a +1 order of precedence. My
sheer presence is convincing.
I mean, look at the section. Maybe 4 is too high, but I think yours is all 0 actually, right? I feel like 4 is too high, but maybe it isn't.
Hold on.
And we're trying to convince this woman to like not do this chore, right? Like we don't want to do this.
You have 0.
Sorry.
You'd be high nobility. So
Oh.
probably not, unless she's actually like a duchess.
Oh,
No.
if she
What,
is, I'm
where,
out.
where are you reading that from? What page?
Page 82 of the Scholar's Guide.
Okay, I'm on Scholar's Guide. I'm on page like 60. Okay, perfect. 82. Peasants, merchants, landless, tileless, nobility. High nobility, clergy. I mean, she might think she's high nobility, but that's probably like elves. She's probably not as haughty as an elf. Let's go with 3. She's still pretty like
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, I think 3 sounds about right too. She clearly runs shit around here, but she's not like she's not actually noble in any real way.
Yeah, landless, tileless, noble.
Zero
Although she
noble?
has land and she's clearly has an air of nobility, but it's more of like, yeah, more like this like energy about her.
Hello?
Hello,
yeah,
we all
Okay.
hear you.
Hello?
yeah, I can
Oh
hear
no.
Is Tyler not?
What?
Can we
Are we
not?
losing Tyler?
Maybe.
you. No.
Anyways, Matthias, make that
Yes?
decision.
Yeah, so I said Steed and myself,
Oh, you and yourself.
since we both have convince
Oh no,
or persuade. Sorry.
I don't have any convince. I only have manipulator, but it's at 4.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're manipulator,
Wow.
so maybe you should get 1. I only have 2 manipulator and 0 persuade.
I have 0 persuade. That's why I think we should give it to Tyler. I thought Tyler was like 4 persuade or something.
I have 2 persuade.
What do you have for manipulator?
Me? 0.
Okay. So Roman, you're like one of the only ones who should get 2, in my opinion, because you have 4 manipulator. 'Cause that's really
Yeah,
good.
so Roman's getting one of the dice for sure.
Sure.
We should use him for feints and maneuvers.
Yeah, just getting things back.
Well,
Disposition
Feint gets
back.
things back. Feint
Okay.
is just kind
Oh
of
yeah,
attack.
so
Feint is an
Maneuver
attack, yeah.
makes your next roll better. So
Sure.
ideally, I think we could maneuver into a feint. Someone can maneuver into Roman's feint would probably be a good strategy.
I guess your would be the setup.
I mean, yeah, I think
Alpha.
a good move would be me setting you up because I have manipulator too and 0 persuader. So that would be one thing to do. That might work. Whereas Corbusier and Matthias have persuader, so they can probably focus on doing attacks and defense.
Sure. Yeah.
So for Matthias, what you basically want to do now, you'll notice that there's like these 3 cards here, and there's our 4 faces up there. So you put one of our faces above each of the slots, and that'll be the thing that we do.
One of our faces above what?
Above each like slot. You see how there's like 3 slots here?
Right?
You put one of our faces above each one. One of us is left out, and we'll go next round.
I see. And I have to choose what the action is?
And you choose the action that each person takes, exactly. And we go from left to right and flip them over, comparing against the ones on the bottom, which Sean picks ahead of time.
Yeah, so I picked mine just because we are doing it. The what's it called is a bit different. So I believe you take a penalty minus 1d to your roll unless you say it your thing in character, in which case you don't take that penalty anymore. I believe that's how that goes.
I don't know what the whatchamacallit is.
To your dice roll. To your like action.
So where do I get the cards from? Down here?
So the cards is the orange cards at the bottom. It should just be on your screen now. On your bottom right, next to the chat. You click choose. You can see the 4 actions. They kind of have like a rock, paper, scissory type feel, but not quite. There's a little chart that helps you in the middle that says ADFM. You read the action, like what that you would be doing on the kind of vertical column, the vertical row. No, like I don't know what, like the left hand side, up and down. You would read that's what you would be doing, and then cross-referencing to what you're doing it against. So a defend against a maneuver would be a versus test, and then a feint versus an attack you don't roll, which is signified by the dash line. We're just gonna let you do it, but you can with input from other people because you're the conflict captain. I think this will probably be the best way for you to learn, is just to be the first conflict captain for one of the first conflicts, since Tally was already in a solo conflict. I think it's best to see what you can do.
Yeah, and these are tiny. I can't even read them.
So first things first, you can double click on them. So when you go choose, you double click it becomes big. You can read it.
Ah, okay, cool.
You decide who's like, so each turn or each volley you think of as kind of like the spotlight is on a particular person, and that's the chance, like, because we could assume that maybe this conversation goes a bit longer and there's more things said than what's that we were saying, but this is like what we're spotlighting on it for, like the chance that this person has is like the best to act. So you, for example, you'd be like, well, Alfin could go first, and then them, and then me, but then everyone can help the one person. So it's not like turns, but it's like semi turns, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess there's this chart for what everything does. And what did you say?
So eyes mean they're independent and they kind of like happen at the same time, irrespective of anything else. V means the versus test, so the margin of success or margin of the margin of success will determine what happens. The dashes mean they have no effect. So if you look at it, the feint, if I'm attacking and you decide to feint, I would roll. I would be rolling no dice if I'm feint, you would be rolling no dice. So the feinter, basically, it's kind of like a Hail Mary that you're trying to predict when someone would be defending, and then you would want to feint during that time. But if they attack, you get screwed over a little bit, and you get to roll no dice. And the attack goes through. Okay. So for example, if someone's just defending, and they have a high defend, the game will never end, and you would be able to farm checks. But if I sensed that you were doing that, I could just feint a couple of times and win the conflict.
Oh, and I don't have like they can be. I can repeat the action basically.
Yeah, they could repeat the
If I wanted
actions. They don't need to be anything. The only rule is that you can't go twice in a round. So basically, if you go first, whoever's first won't go next round because you're going to leave someone out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as for who does what, who's good at what, or does it matter?
I'm just going to change my actions because I want to do a bit better RP.
Me and Chris are good at fainting and maneuvering.
There. I just
well,
changed my
that's-
actions.
So you should probably, if you're going to use him, best to use him on a feint, and better use me for manipulator to set up a feint, or to set up maybe Tyler doing an attack or defense as well would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Okay.
And you and Tyler is good at I forgot what the thing is. Like the attack and defense.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like she's gonna get defensive right away. So put that seed at the beginning. What is this? These are options that showed up. Okay. And how do I grab this? I see.
And remember that this is a turn on the grind, and kind of conflicts are. I guess you're able to farm. I guess farm for checks. I'm advancing the grind now, so I don't forget.
I'm sure this is gonna be very slow.
Or not advance the grind. I'm clicking the turn right now, so I don't forget by the end of the conflict. Feel free to like see the cards. You don't need to drag it off the side. If you're unsure, you could flip it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna delete this one. Good to go?
All right, no, I'm all done. Yeah.
Okay. Let me double check that talking rule. Probably in the back, bottom. Right. Looking for the weapons of conflict weapon reference. Do not see it. Oh well. Pretty sure that existed. I'm not just making that up. And if I am, whatever. Sorry. Anyways, okay. Let's begin. I flip my card. I'm maneuvering. You are fainting. An attack feint is independent. I think what I'm going to do. So let's just define sort of what things mean. So the attack is kind of making a point. Defend is maybe rebutting their point. Your goal, I guess, for this convinced conflict is to get her to give you information. Her goal is to maybe try to convince you to go get her like an ingredient or something in the forest. So she's gonna send you on some sort of fetch mission, and feint is kind of maybe trying to use their words against you, or trying to do double speak, or wouldn't you agree that like this is the right thing to do? Kind of like trying to do some sort of like logical fallacy type thing. Maneuver is kind of like you're breaking up the conversation, you're introducing like an extraneous point, you're just going on a non sequitur or something like that. And so immediately she says, well, I think there's some discussion to be had. come inside, and we'll sit down at the table and talk about this.
Also, I'm just gonna point this out. It's not like a turn by turn basis. We
Yes.
can all help each other.
So you could help if you
in
have
each
the
turn.
appropriate help. So if you have manipulator, or yeah, usually just the skill that helps. So if you have manipulator, you could help Steve. So yeah, she's be like, oh, no, we can't talk now. We can't talk now. Let's go inside and have some dinner. We'll discuss this.
Dinner.
As friends.
I'm just gonna go. I'll take her up on her offer and just say, "Oh, you have dinner? Were you expecting some guests or? We're just hoping to wonder why you're out here. That's it. I'm trying to get. I'm checking if she knows anyone else here.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think could be a feint. That's and she kind of smiles and she says, "I'm always kind of expecting, but you're the ones who showed up." So I'll be rolling. Let's see how many dice I'll be rolling. I could be rolling 4 dice. Yeah, and so she says, you always gotta expect you have to expect the right things to happen, and you like look and there's exactly like 6 plates like out on the table.
6. Okay, it's creepy. Gravy. So you roll first, or do I roll first? I forgot.
It's independent, so you can just make your roll, I guess. I'm just gonna roll this.
No, it's okay. Independent rolls are covered. Just tell them how many they're rolling.
Yeah, I'll be rolling 4 dice. Oh yeah, you can roll 4 it also, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Let me open your
manipulator.
thing.
Oh, there it is.
I guess it's against obstacle 4. It should say probably just do, if there's no obstacle, just roll a versus test and
you can just write independent. Like it doesn't really matter, right? You just put like it's the same thing, obstacle, because
Okay.
it's just it is like the display for independent versus, right? You should put it as independent because they both happen no matter what.
Oh, well then it doesn't roll for me then. But I will roll dice then.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I guess you could do a versus because they'll go right through. Right, of course.
That's fine. I'll roll.
I'll just do versus and now a dice 0.
Well, I mean, you can put the number of dice that he's rolling.
How much are you rolling, Sean?
I'll be rolling 5 dice. Yeah,
5 dice.
my trickster ways are coming into this.
And I'm asking for help from anyone who has manipulator, or does it have to be specifically manipulator?
I believe it does.
Okay, so it can't be
Might be
haggler
the
or
only one that
persuader.
passed that.
Okay. Yeah. So, Chris, do you want help?
Yeah. Sorry, what is your argument exactly?
I'm just checking if she knows anyone, if she's expecting anyone else, or if she knows anyone in the area.
So I'll remark on like the place she has set up. It says, other company.
And she just smiles like wordlessly.
Cool. And I'll also just spend a trait point. I'll I'm using kind because I'm accepting her. I'm accepting her invitation to her house politely and just freely walking in.
Okay. Oh, you're doing the person's yes, perfect. So this is an independent test, but I don't want to roll dice, so I'll just get you to roll the dice for me.
Oh, okay. For some reason, not rolling. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's rolling. So I rolled 2. So I'm just gonna, and you got.
Oh, the first one rolled, but
Yeah, we're gonna count the first one.
okay. I was wondering why it was taking so long.
I got 4. You got 4 damage on me. But I got 2 successes, and because this is independent, my order of precedence, I think, applies, or does it not apply to this? It applies to this.
I will check.
Gaining me, I think, plus 3 successes.
Oh.
Basically, I'll just impede and gain position. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I know I'm actually dealing damage.
+1 success for all successful or tied actions.
All successful or independent?
For all successful or tied actions.
Okay.
So presumably it counts as a success, right? Because it's
Yeah.
independent.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna impede and gain position. I'm gonna get +2 dice next time, and impede you with -1. So, Ardor, I guess you're a little taken aback by her. It like dawns on you that like, yeah, she was expecting exactly you guys. So flip card. So attacks. We're basically making points. We don't need to address the other person's point if we don't really need, like, we don't really have to. I'll be rolling, I think, 4 + 2, so I'll be rolling 6 dice. But they'll be going directly to damaging disposition.
So the conflict
same with
could
you.
end right here.
The conflict will most certainly end as long as Matthias can get 1 success.
Okay, so I'm rolling Persuader plus what?
So you're rolling Persuader. So click the button to roll, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Click it as a versus test so that I'll automatically roll me. Number of opponents dice, 6 dice.
From you?
Yeah, so I can change it. Cool. I can watch you make the rolls and change it.
Nice.
That's awesome. So yeah, you rolling 2. So what are you saying? You're actually hindered by 1. So I'm going to give you other modifiers. This is -1. No, dice -1. Success is 0. Does that make sense? Yes, fine. Just because you're impeded. So you're only rolling a single die, and if you need help, whoever has Persuader could help you.
I can help you.
Or you could use a trait for yourself, or some other things.
Did we lose a bunch of disposition? Oh, she maneuvered. Got it.
Yeah, I maneuver. So I'm. So let's talk about before we gather a dice what we're saying first. First off, so you make a point that's kind of for your side, which is like her to tell you information, like a good point. She's going to, like, unless probably Roman's sitting down and she's like pouring soup, and so she says, I have need of an item I would like you to acquire for me. She's like looks at you and she says, I know it's a little impolite to ask, but you know, it's important. And she kind of smiles and says, well, at least let's become friends. And she like pours some soup into each of the bowls. What do you say to her?
Okay. So we're already inside?
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, so this is like convinced conflicts are kind of like the conflict system is kind of like the catch-all of like interesting thing happens that's a bit more than a single turn, but they're usually for kind of versus against each other, and this is just like the talky portions. You like to roleplay, and you want to convince something of someone, you'll be using a convinced conflict.
Let's see. Well, ma'am, thank you very much for the food. May I call you ma'am? What's your name? I think if we're gonna be friends, I should at least know your name.
Marigold, my dear.
And Marigold. Okay, well, Marigold, thank you very much for the soup. You know, my friends and I are just looking to inquire on some information about what's been happening in the forest. I think, you know, it would be effortless of you to just tell us what's been going on around here. And, you know, if we do end up becoming friends, perhaps we'll be, you know, helping you achieve your goals as well. But, you know, this is not even a favor we're asking. We're just looking for information.
Okay. That's a point if I ever heard it. And then if you wanted help or if you want to bring in one of your traits, you can do so. I think you probably aren't. You're not being full of fire and pep, so you probably couldn't do fiery. I don't know how Born Arthur Stone would help you or hinder you in this situation. But yeah, so if you wanted more dice from other people, that you can ask for help. Usually, it's up to the person rolling whether or not to ask for help. The other people shouldn't really make that offer.
I thought a couple of people had already said that they were going to help.
Yeah,
So,
Not.
I think
Okay.
Corbusier is the only one that can. So what do you say to Mary to kind of bolster Ardor's point?
I'm gonna say that if you got enough of this for dinner for many people, when I don't think you're expecting us, I think this item can wait just a little bit.
Oh, you're gonna be like you're rich, essentially.
Yeah, it's like if you need an item so badly, but you're able to pour out a dinner for 5 of us, I think whatever you're looking for, tell us what we got to know. We can be on our way, and we'll probably be back later. Maybe we'll have dinner then. But right now, time is of the essence.
Okay, sure. Roll your dice.
okay. So it's 2v6. This doesn't fare well.
Yeah, well, you only need a single success though, and you do.
Oh, what?
Because it's attack versus attack, it's independent, so it goes through.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
I can
All
hear
right,
you.
my internet just went off for like a blip. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I'm still connected.
Okay.
So Matthias, you're take 2 damage, and it's up to you to do the other damage. We do the damages just to kind of maybe get a feeling with who's most affected after the negotiations. If
I'll be right
conditions
back.
are
I
on.
gotta use the bathroom.
So you have conflict captain, there are 2 damage was done to you, and there's still 2 more damage that needs to be done. So you can put it all on Roman, or you can split it up.
What's the damage on?
Your disposition. So if you're looking kind of here, I have the disposition tracker of your little faces.
Okay.
So you took 2 damage, and there's still two more needs to be done. If people are out, I think I'll be a little more if when we negotiate, because you will be entering negotiations, because it isn't a clean one side has full, which basically conflicts are messy. So
Conflicts are messy.
So when all the disposition is gone, it means that person's out.
yeah, they're out of the conflict, but you won the conflict because you reduced her to 0. But we're just gonna
Okay.
make people out of the conflict, and then we're gonna do our thing. So it looks like they reduced you 4 out of 2 out of 6 only. So who? Yeah, pick people
6.
to
Where are you
reduce.
seeing the?
Because your total is 6, right? The total of your group is 6.
Oh, I see. Okay. I guess we'll take one from Roman and one from Elfwin.
To Alfwin
That?
and then Roman. You can't split it up, so you'd have to do Alfwin first to then do Roman, but yeah. Just letting you know that for the future. So if everyone had 3, for example, you couldn't do like 1 and 1. You'd have to do like 2 all onto one person. So I feel like this is a major compromise that she has won. The game master loses convince conflict. The adventurers agree to a concession of some kind. So the loser posits the first negotiation. You posit a concession. The winner's position is reduced to just a few points. Okay. Imagine the winner nearly achieving their goals to capture, to convince, whatever, or thwart it just at the end. What would that look like? So you can either barely achieve your goals, or I can introduce a twist because of your victory, or I could maybe apply conditions to people because you didn't want this. The exact promises.
This is
For the
exactly why
twist,
Talia stayed
twists
out
are
of it,
always-
because she knew she would not be able to handle herself.
Twists are always fun.
Binding results. Conflict results, victories, and compromises are binding. Your character is convinced, captured, or tricked, or whatever the result came up in play. So basically, if you agree to the compromise, you should be willing to be convinced as a group, because you are convinced. Yeah. I think it's a major compromise. I think and basically on the nature of the goal, I'm actually, she's not going to tell you exactly what's wrong, but she'll offer a cryptic message. Is my first compromise. If you want to, now you can counter propose and be like, no, yeah, I want what's wrong, and then I can renegotiate. So that's my thing is that you don't get exactly what you want. It's a cryptic message. What's wrong, or where, or like whatever information she knows, and then offer some of it to you is in the form of cryptic messaging. Ooh, spooky. So as the conflict captain, you can. Now it's like in the negotiation. So was there a page I can read about negotiations? The losing team took points off their opponent. Compromises, twists. So the whole group, if the winner finds the term successful, they can provide unacceptable. You can provide another solution, and can be negotiated a little bit. So this is like a table chatter. So if everyone can talk and have their say, but
I don't know. I think that's a pretty cool compromise.
I'll let you guys decide because I wasn't technically part of the conflict. So
Yeah, I just came back. What? Sorry, what happened?
Sean is discussing the compromise for the conflict. So he's proposing as a major compromise that she'll give you information, but it's going to be a cryptic rather than a straight telling of what you want to know. So you
Okay.
can accept that, or you can repropose another thing, but likely at some penalty to yourself. So you'd be like, "Oh, well, no, I pressed her and I want to know, so I accept the angry condition." So you get the information, but now you're angry, or something like that. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. That's basically how this works. Or I could counter propose that you maybe agree to go. You agree. Essentially, you exchange that. Like if she tells you, you'll do what she wants, but she has to tell you first or something like that, and then you have to go do that thing that she
Mhm.
wanted you to do.
What if you're thieving liars who just take it and then leave?
So you have to basically agree. They're binding, so you have to agree to be
Yep.
convinced or not.
Right. Okay.
It's
Rules of the
unacceptable.
universe.
It's unacceptable for you to say yes and then not try to fulfill that. So only
this is
say
like
yes if you want to in character. Say yes.
keep in mind, like we're role playing that we have actually been convinced. So obviously we're
Yeah.
just go back on our word because we've actually been convinced.
And if you don't want to be convinced, that this now is the time would be to say that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So you are Matthias is leaning toward just cryptically messaging. I think that's fine if everyone else thinks that's fine.
Yeah. I can't think of a better resolution. So she's just gonna give us information about the area.
No, she's gonna try to give you information about the forest, but in a cryptic message, which I'm
Yeah.
going to think about and try to say without giving too much away.
The
Very
fort
hard.
is
Very hard.
burning with desire.
Actually, I think she is gonna say that. Thank you. The
Oh,
like
sure.
Young man.
the forests was burning with the desires of man. Their wants
It's obvious.
are magical in nature, but ultimately it's their lust for power, and that's kind of what she says. But enough of these things. Let's eat and become friends, shall we? And if you're hungry and thirsty, you've received some soup.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
So that it's now turn 8 on the grind. So the next action I'm gonna tick over unless you camp. I believe, or no, yeah. And so she, you talk for a little bit. That she's you've probably like asked her some things. What you've learned throughout the conversation is that she's been here for she's been in the forest for as long as she can remember, and that if you come back, hopefully you'll be more receptive. But she wishes you well, and kind of basically it's a problem with the men, and they're what they want is what. And men colloquially is like the stock, the human,
Right.
the human.
Right,
And
right.
the people nearby, probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's she's like starts cleaning up, and she's made exactly the right amount of food for all of you.
That's kind of her.
It wasn't it.
Talia takes it suspiciously, but gratefully.
There's I guess to describe her house a little bit. There's like this like tapestry that kind of has a along the wall that kind of has like some stuff about the forest. You're not sure if it's like a trick of the light, but you could swear that there's like 6 like at the end of the tapestry. There's like in one of the corners. There's like 6 people eating in her a little cabin in the woods. And you're like, that's weird. And yeah, she has like
That's
a
weird.
rocking chair in one side next to like a stack of like I guess papers. I guess I don't know if she reads drawings and inscriptions. I don't know. It's hard to tell from the table.
So we went for the cryptic hint. But
Yeah.
We don't promise anything.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Damn.
Or you AFK, Chris?
Yeah, I just had to stand up for a second. I just heard from context, but I wanted to make sure.
Mhm.
Gotta go for the explicit instructions, even if it involves us doing fetch quests.
Yeah.
Oh well. We'll be fine.
So yeah, the cryptic hint was that it's the
humans.
Humans' desire led to the burning of
I
the forest.
feel like I got a hunch what that might be involved with.
Mm.
How many checks do we have?
I think none.
Mhm.
Since we left town.
There's one. I have one.
You have one?
Okay.
All right. Well, in that case, we may as well keep adventuring.
Yeah, so she wishes you well and kind words, and asks you to maybe drop in some time in the future in a few days.
Well, the
Maybe-
only
Maybe you need more help, and she like smiles and says like who knows sort of thing,
No,
like a knowing smile, like maybe you will, who knows.
I'm sure we'll figure it out completely accurately ourselves.
I'm gonna move this over. Yeah. So.
You're not gonna come crawling back here in a few days and have to do a fetch quest anyway. We can't figure out what the fuck we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, there's 2 groups of men that I can think of who would potentially have issue with this, and the men of the plague cult. Well, their problem is evident.
Of the plague cult?
Oh yeah, you don't know about them.
Mhm.
They there's a plague cult over at the castle to the northwest. I don't know if you can see on the map. And they've basically turned the western reaches of this forest into like a horrific swamp with like beasts and terror. We went down into there a while back when we were doing some work for them, but then we decided they were bad news, so we betrayed them and left.
Okay.
God, no. I like
But
the microphone gave me a shock when I
Raid
muted
of
myself.
4 was the group operating out of the cathedral.
Yeah.
And the reason we helped them is because there was a plague going around in the tent city that was outside the cathedral. But now the tent city is in ruins. After we promised to help the people of the cathedral, so I'm wondering if like they are not all that they seemed also, and maybe they have more to do with this burning forest than we at first suspected.
Yeah, I'm
The
leaning.
plague people?
No.
The
the-
cathedral.
Oh, the
I'm leaning
cathedral?
towards the cathedral people because
So I think maybe our next best course of action might be to head to the tent ruin, the ruins of the tent village, and investigate what happened there.
Okay.
wait, did we map all this area already?
Nope.
When we get to camp, presumably that'll be one of the things on the agenda. But we need more checks before we can camp anyway. So
But we do have like 3 instincts in camp, right?
I mean, yeah,
We
Okay,
do.
just to
probably
make
try
sure.
up some more checks
Yeah.
before we.
You could do like camping and then scrounge more sticks and then camp again and then trigger your instincts twice.
Could do that as well.
Yeah.
But your choice. I'm just gonna mute myself. Tell me what you guys want, and then we can continue.
Although I suppose that this wouldn't be a bad place to set up camp, like outside of that,
Outside
Yeah.
Powerful Lady's house.
and presumably wouldn't mind if we were to camp nearby.
Just like, we're just gonna set up tents in your lawn. I hope that's okay.
The forest. She doesn't have a lawn. Come on.
I guess so.
Her house can move. She can, if she doesn't like it, she can just go somewhere else.
She doesn't need
If you don't like it, then you
can.
can get out.
Yeah, she'll just like her house will stand up on its giant chicken leg and hop somewhere else.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, I mean, Talia's fine with that. She needs to try and recover her broken rib as well, but
Something,
I
yeah,
don't have any
that's
checks for that
I
either.
actually I could probably try and help with that because I have healer,
Oh, do you? Ooh.
and that's also one of my instincts was to make poultices. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure how the injury rules work. So I'll have to when we get back. But yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you guys all have camp instincts, right?
Yes, I have an instinct to cook.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix the equipment.
And Tyler has, I think,
Yeah.
bomb making.
I got bomb making.
So you're setting up
Like
camp here then?
incendiary devices.
Yeah, this is a decent place for a camp anyway. It's
Okay,
nearby,
okay.
so generally friendly. So
Put some campfire music on and stop this thing.
I need
Can I
tents
try
and
to-
combat music for camping?
Can I try to recover my wounds before you try to heal me, Chris?
So just checking how many people have checks and who has them.
I think the only person who has a check is Chris right now.
that is it.
Okay. Well, he is the only person who has a check. So the rules for
Okay.
camp is if you don't have checks, you can't do anything unless if you have an instinct, you can do something. You can't do things twice in a row. So if you go, someone else has to go again before you go. If you fail a recovery test, you cannot make another recovery test in that camp. Try again some other time.
Okay.
What else is there? Let's start the procedure for camp though. Camping. Making a camp. Have at least one check. Decides whether you're not in a conflict and have a place to rest. Okay, there's 6 kinds: ancient ruins, dungeons, natural caves, outside town, squatting in town, and wilderness. This will count as wilderness. Camp's never truly safe. There are 3 levels of danger: typical, unsafe, and dangerous. I select one based on the conditions, the area, its inhabitants, unpredictability of the weather, and other similar activities. Proximity to monsters, people, and beasts / known and unknown. Okay. Characters may serve an area for a suitable camp. Surveying costs a turn on the adventure phase unless they have an instinct in play. Use the main camp factors listed in survival. If the characters do not have time or energy to survey, they throw themselves down where they are. Cold camping, the bare bones. They sit and lay out, place a fire, and a method of making one. The rules do not assume that each camp has a water source, shelter against the elements or concealment. These amenities are either self-evident, you've camped next to the running stream, or must be sought out in the adventure phase. During the camp phase, you may add amenities, blah blah blah. Dark camp, if it's too dangerous to have light, and you can take the camp off. Adventurers may set watch when making camp. To do so, one or more characters must volunteer. Setting watch grants you a +1 to the. So this is a new thing. You can set a watch. If you do, you get +1 to the camp event roll, regardless of how many watchers there are. If there are more than one character on watch, the others may help to test to avert disaster. Characters not on watch may not help. So if I roll, then there might be a test to try to fix it. And if you can help them if you're on watch. However, if you're on watch, you may not make recovery tests, memorize spells, or purify your immortal burden if you're a third. So you cast spells, you want to rememorize them. That costs checks now, whereas before it was free.
So what? So if you're on watch, you cannot do what?
Recover, memorize, or basically recover or do things with spells.
Make recovery checks or do spell things. Okay, but anything else you can.
Yeah, and I would like to point out, just so that we know as a group, as a warrior, my level 1 benefit does let me keep watch for free when I have no conditions. So that's not right now, but in the future, I will be able to do that for us.
What is the cost for keeping watch then, Sean? It costs a check?
To do so, characters must volunteer.
Or it says, well, keep watch and lead the effort to prevent a disaster for free. So I don't know if those are separate or combined.
Oh, you might, to prevent disaster might cost a check. Probably.
Yeah. So that might be why.
So that's keeping watch, right? To do a
Yeah.
check.
Basically, well, keeping watch gives you +1 to the roll, but if you end up rolling really bad on the event table, you might want to. You had a bunch of checks. You could avert the disaster with one of the checks.
Okay. Well, I don't have an instinct or a check I want to use, so I'll keep watch.
Sounds good. We'll just have you do it so that we understand.
Yeah.
How it works. And we also get another +1 to the make camp roll because I am a ranger and we are in the wilderness.
So we have +2 to the roll?
Oh, nice.
Probably. Yep. Now to the camp section reference. All right. So someone roll 3d6 and.
I'll do it.
3d6?
Yep. This is the camp set thing. It's a lot more than the last time. 14 + 2.
Yeah, for
Yep,
watch
+1.
and ranger.
So 16. All right.
No,
Let's see.
it's 14 with the +2 included.
Oh, that is +2 included. Perfect. All right. Verdant wilderness. Birds, ungulates, I guess worms.
Ungulates. Ungulates are moose and deer and things.
Oh, okay. Well, moose, deer, and fish abound. +1 to hunter, scavenger, and fisher tests in camp. I guess there's no stream though near here, so you cannot take.
Nice.
There's no fish, so you can't make fishing tests, which are in the new rules.
There's fishing tests? I want to learn how to fish.
I want fish.
Okay. Yeah, so you can +1 on hunter, scavenger for this camp phase.
Okay.
So now we determine who's on watch. There's no problems. Excellent. 93 is the page. So now you can take a deep breath, step back. You're not in the adventure phase anymore. Figure out who has conditions, who has instincts, and the order you guys want to do them in.
Okay.
Any unused checks are lost at the end of the camp phase, so no saving checks.
I mean, I guess, Chris, do you want to go first just because you have both an instinct and a check? Just so that we can weave someone in between.
Sorry, I had my headphones out for a second.
Oh, that's fine. Did you catch what Sean said recently?
I think he knows the rules for
Okay.
checks and stuff. I was just saying that so that
Yeah,
you
well,
and...
so if we are someone who has instincts, we may as well trigger them, right?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, do we want to do you first just so that we can separate your instinct and your check?
Okay, sure. My instinct.
Or he can donate his check to someone else if they have need of it. Is another rule.
Hmm.
I mean, I did kind of want to. Sorry, because you said like Sean, Andrew has like some kind of like
I am
bruise.
injured.
Yes, he is injured. Oh, his bed is marked as fresh, but he is injured.
Yeah.
I try to keep the table here and the top above the grind, kind of up to date a little bit. I don't.
Right. So he is injured, and he had like there's a character, like his injury is characterized by being a specific kind. It seems like.
Bruising, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
There's a difference between like a bruise, a broken bone, or a burn.
Now.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Good to know.
Bruises are easiest, and then sword wounds and broken bones are harder, and burns are the hardest in terms of like injuries to treat.
Oh,
And
I
then
had
the
no idea.
bruises, which are even harder.
Hmm.
So, my instinct is to make poultices. So why don't I try and make an injury poultice? What's my healer at? My healer is at 3 exactly, and I need a pass.
You can't help without checks as well, right?
I
Not
know
on
you can help.
instinct.
You're not on
Well,
instinct. You
Not on
can.
instinct. This is instinct. So
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. This is in advance.
you can use wises to aid, if that's relevant.
So
Don't
yeah,
think it is for me. at least.
you are
I don't
making a poultice.
Maybe let's just go for it. Why not?
Obstacle 3.
So how does it work? You need to get all the fails and passes, and then the next success, you
No,
put it up
as
one?
soon as you got the fails and passes all filled out, you learned this skill.
Oh,
Or
okay.
it goes up one.
So Chris is looking for a pass here, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if he was looking for a pass or a fail, he couldn't accept help for either, in theory.
Can't accept help because this is an instinct.
Oh, okay.
That's you can't help someone who's doing something on instinct.
Well, that
can
reminds
only-
me. Doing
You
tests.
know why?
Did
so you
everyone
can-
mark their thing they did for the talking?
Oh yeah. No, I did not.
I didn't do anything.
Manipulator. So yours was independence deed, I believe,
Yeah.
and so you don't mark it because it's versus Ob-Zero.
Oh yeah. It's
two independent. So the only
oh,
person who
oh.
should mark anything is Mateus for getting in the conflict.
You don't mark the disposition either.
There was no marks in that.
Okay.
entire
Okay.
doc-
Then maybe.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I'm just trying to decide. Maybe I should use my nature here.
Hmm.
I want to get a pass. Yeah. Well, this is outside my nature. But yeah, I'm going to attempt to, use my magical elven power to scrape a healing poultice.
Yeah.
So how does it work using your nature?
So he's spending a persona point to roll his nature dice.
And it's outside my nature. So it'll be well. My current nature will go down to 4 out of 5 because this is outside my nature.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
This is-
using
yeah.
outside your nature, it goes down by
Of
1.
you
Your nature,
and my nature because like I have like magic singing power, which is kind of relevant, but making the poultice is not. So. But I really want to succeed, so I'm gonna do that. Wow, look at me go.
success, and you raised your healer to 4 now. So
Thank
you.
you've made a poultice to heal.
There's now 4. Yeah, totally worth it.
That was your instinct. Excellent. So put it in your pack or hold it in your hand until people are ready to use it, I guess.
I'm gonna use it probably with my check unless someone has something better to do
Okay.
to try and heal.
He'll tell you.
Yeah.
So who else has a instinct or something they want to trigger?
I do. I want to make an incendiary device, but I think all my stuff was taken before we went into Alfheim before.
Yeah, it's harder though now.
It's just harder.
Would you want to
Alright.
still do that?
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
make
it's
something
yours.
small.
Yeah, you kept it as an instinct, so might as well, I guess. So it's an alchemist test. Okay, so describe the thing you are making. You don't need to like use any stuff, but you gotta just tell me what kind of thing you're making.
I want to put a thing on the bottom of my boot so that it can give me a little jump boost. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I don't know if that counts as an explosive or not, but it would be an exploding thing. Like shooting a gun to make you go faster in a car.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you could do that, but it's obstacle 4.
Okay.
And you have -1 because you don't have the gear
Dang
to
it.
this thing.
Okay. I'm gonna pop a persona for this then. Give me the extra die. Takes me back up to normal.
It's independent. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thank you.
0.
Wow.
I'm gonna say you blow your boot up. You only
Damn.
have one shoe now. A sandal.
Oh,
You blew
Great.
up your shoe. Now you're left with your sandal.
just my lone sandal.
Yeah.
Burns. Oh. Gotta go get this boot now. Great. And that's my second failure. Damn it. I'm all failed up.
Yep.
Your shoes are ruined. Right, any more instincts?
Yep, I gotta fix equipment.
You could fix a boot.
Anybody have any broken
Is that a
equipment?
thing? Can you do that?
I have my broken helmet. My helmet's all
Yeah,
crumpled.
I'm starting with a helmet.
Well, you only do one, but
Alright.
yeah.
Okay, well, I will fix the helmet.
Per camp. Okay, so you're gonna fix the helmet. That sounds like an armor test. Repairing a helmet is obstacle 1.
Hey, that's not so bad.
Okay, so this is a disposition check.
This is an independent test with obstacle
Independent
1.
test.
There. I can help you.
Okay.
So I have GM powers.
Alright.
'Cause I could see it, which is awesome. Because I could see the like pop-ups.
Cool.
I like this a lot. Also, it means that everyone else could see instead of just talking. Our stream actually has stuff now. It has this.
Okay, so that's a success. Your helmet is fixed.
Hey.
Why does it say +1 success? Why does it say you're fresh?
I don't know.
Why does-
I
Help
don't-
+1.
Oh,
Other
because you
modifiers.
clicked on fresh. Your fresh was unclicked because you were hungry and thirsty, and then you're no longer fresh. But anyways, it's
I
one
thought I
success.
had unclicked fresh.
Cool. So my helmet's no longer dented.
Or wait, why does it say +1? I actually don't understand why that happened, but maybe because you're a
I'm
dwarf?
not sure either.
I don't know. Anyways, you have an undented helmet now. It's all working in good order. He managed to make it wearable so it's not as tight and it will function,
Check my noggin. once
function and be protecting.
more. Thank you.
Now,
Welcome.
Anybody else have any? No, right? Yeah.
I have a cook instinct, but I'll do it after you try to heal me so that I'm not injured
Yeah.
while I'm cooking.
You only need to cook when people are hungry, though. You don't actually
Okay.
need to cook.
Can I cook anyways?
Yeah, if you want to learn how to cook, yeah.
Yeah.
Or to boost it up. My dog is whining. Nova. Stop it.
Well,
It's okay.
I used my poultice that I made just now.
'Kay.
To try and heal your wound.
Yay. 'Cause I'm bruised apparently.
So healer test with poultice. Healing. So the poultice gives you +1. Healing bumps is treatment obstacle 2.
That's not so bad.
Yeah. It's easier to treat injuries than to recover from them.
Recover them? Yeah, I was like, oh, it's a health out 4.
But if you fail, he automatically you mess up him permanently, but he gets to recover it.
That's true.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about
Don't worry. Can't possibly go wrong.
Okay.
Bob 2.
Yeah, do you have healer 5? Oh, gear, yeah, right. Okay, perfect. I know, it says so right there. I seem to read the list right here. Perfect.
I don't think... I'm just going to go for it.
Oof.
There you go.
Succeed.
Yay.
You're no longer
Um,
injured. I have you.
And does your healer go up?
Healer what just did go
Oh,
up.
it did go up previously with the poultice roll, but now you get to mark a success.
Yeah.
Talia smiles and thanks you.
Does anyone else have instinct? If not, the camp is done, and we are back to adventure.
I want to cook.
He wants to cook.
Oh yeah, you want to cook? Okay, so
Yeah.
you cooking?
Yep. How does this work? I have some preserved rations in my bag, and I know Chris has magic bread.
Well, if you just want to practice cooking, I don't know speak for a group, but maybe not use the magic stuff. But it's up to you.
I figured.
If you're just practicing, you can practice on the rations. I think that's fine. Rations are easy enough to replace.
Okay, are you just making it for one person? You making it for 2 people? You making it for the group? It's getting harder, so it depends what you want.
Yeah. What are the obs for each? Do I get to know that?
No, I don't think so, right?
You didn't before, but now it kind of like has the obs is like.
Just look at the book.
I'm gonna say
You know,
I'm
it's
just gonna tell you that preserve rations starts off at 2, so it gets harder and harder if it's for your
Okay.
group or for yeah.
I'll start with just since I'm practicing. I'll start with the easiest challenge.
Okay.
So just for myself.
Okay. This is for 1. It's gonna be obstacle 2.
Okay. Hey.
You've made it. You rolled 2 dice. Cool.
Yeah. My humble cooking of 2.
Oh yeah, you need to fail and now it passed. Great. Then you can just
Yep.
make something really hard, and then you come back for an easy test again later.
Okay, so what happens to my preserved rations? Do they go
One
away,
of
or-
them goes away. So the preserved rations, I believe, is out of 3, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right? Other people who've played the game,
I think so.
and I think
Maybe.
fresh rations is out of 2. But let me look at that.
It looks like you're right based on my quick perusal of the book.
Rations preserved out of 3. Yeah. So
Enough food for 3 meals. Yeah.
yeah. So you can 2 out of 3 is probably the best way to write it here.
Okay. Okay. I will do as such. Thank you.
Perfect. Now the grind resets to 0. Back to, on 1. And now we get back into the adventure phase. Adventuring. Let's make the music stop. And let's put some adventure music on.
Some fun fresh adventure music.
All right. Yeah, you break camp and you slept the night. It's the daytime now again. Yeah, like because the sun was kind of like into the evening. The sun was going down when you made it to Marigold's, but she fed you. You slept outside. Now the sun is coming out, and her chimney is billowing smoke, and her blinds are closed. Birds are chirping because it's this verdant forest. Where are you off to next?
Tent City.
Tent City. Do you
Left of it.
strike out the Tent City through the forest, or?
Through the forest. See if we can get alternative pathways going. I think that's always a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm going to say it is obstacle 4.
Okay.
I don't know who's rolling, but sounds like Alphin is.
As you-
possibly.
Yeah, I think Chris is the
Yeah.
main Pathfinder. I'm a good secondary Pathfinder, so I might assist him again with my pathfinding.
I will also assist because I like running around.
Do you accept their assistance, Chris, or do you intrude their assistance?
No, to their assistance.
Okay, interesting.
Anti-human mood currently.
Oh,
Fair enough.
You're
Tell
not
you what,
trusting them. I see. You're an important
not?
mission for the forest, and they can't help you.
Exactly. I need to rely on myself.
well,
Excellent,
you're
excellent.
pathfinding. I'll be scouting on my own without you.
So it's obstacle 4. Pathfinder's
And,
5? Wow.
Count as using Firstborn against myself, considering that I am eschewing human help, despite it never like very obviously being useful.
Oh, okay. So, right. Because you're haughty.
I know that I'm
elfness
doing my creed, but not really. I'm more like thinking like humans can't help me.
Mhm.
I need to do it by myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or maybe we'll get lost.
Probably will. Keep trusting the elves like this.
Oh, sorry, I need to roll one more die. Well, it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, it might reduce the extent of damage, maybe. But...
Okay, I'm gonna take my dog out to go pee again. And think of the fancy things. Feel free to take a quick break, stretch your legs, and come. I'll be right back.
Self-care is important.
That it is.
Yeah. I got well, I guess I don't have to earn a check to recover injured anymore. Thanks, Elfwin, for that. But I was like gonna see if I could use the check to get my health bumped up. But I realized 6 is the max, so like going from 5 to 6, I'll be like maxing out health. 'Cause, yeah, I was looking at all the cool upgrades I could get by progressing as a warrior. It's like, this is pretty cool. Like eventually I can fight with my hands. So when I got disarmed against that golem, I would have taken no penalty.
Moral of this story, or this game, which this game has taught me, is if you're ever trying to do something hard, you should fail on purpose.
Excellent.
Okay, I am back. Is everyone else taking a break?
Yep, I just was chatting.
Oh. Is everyone else here?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way there. But the quickest way there led you past the goblin hideout.
God.
And-
Exact thing I didn't want.
And they're a bit angry. You were walking, and they're like probably sleeping during the day, but they're like, "Hey, what is that? Wake up!" and then they're like looking. They're like, I think I heard something. And you see like one of the goblins rouse the others because he heard some people, hiking through the woods. He's like, it could be the whatever stole our stuff. And he's like, but I don't know. But they're all saying in goblin, so it's all grunts to you.
I like your goblin speak. Very good.
Yeah, sure.
Goblins hate it when you sing.
That, like whisper yell that people do. And I say, hide.
Okay.
Okay.
Talia will try and take cover.
Are you hiding from them?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. At least for the moment.
Goblins. All right. So who's gonna be hiding? Goblins. It would be a scout test. I believe Alfwin has to help because he proposed the solution, but he does not necessarily need to make the roll. But he has to be a part of it. So. Okay. I'm just gonna let you. Who wants to go? You have to make that decision before I tell you.
What are you using to hide?
Scout.
I don't have scout as a skill.
I have scout.
Will you when Alfwin says hide, you take the lead and be like over here, or?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll show you how to hide, Elf. This is how you hide.
Yeah, if you want to take the roll, then go for it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be rolling. I don't know. Yeah, they want to fight, so I think it's kind of within their nature to try to find you guys to fight you. But it's bright out, so they're gonna roll 2 dice on me. But they're gonna help. I think they said there were 6 of them, but I'm gonna say only half of them wake up to do this roll. So only 2 other dice. So I'll be rolling 4 dice. The other are like snoring quite loudly.
Alright. I will help by scanning the brush for a particularly thick patch that we could sequester ourselves in.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to help?
Oh,
Okay, go ahead, Tyler.
we're just hiding, right?
Yep.
There's no grass nearby.
I mean, there's
So we're in
probably
the
it's a forest,
There's
so
bushes.
there's probably bushes, tree trunks. I think this is quite an old growth forest, so probably not a lot of like. It's probably not a lot of dense shrubbery, but there's probably like big, large branches, and it's probably kind of hills and upturns of the earth with like trees falling over and all sorts of nooks and crannies
Yeah.
you can look for.
I'm thinking goblins are pretty short, so it's just hide in the tree, guys. Hide in trees.
Okay, yeah.
Goblins can't look up.
I mean, that sounds like a wise, but I mean, like, telling them to hide in the trees sounds like help. Other help could be Pathfinder or potentially Hunter, but Hunter, I think, would be more like trying to find someone rather than trying to escape someone's notice.
Yeah, well,
I guess
feel
I'll
like Hunter
help
could be
too
the
then.
distraction. Like I can throw a rock.
I'm just
Yeah,
telling
it's
it because for Talia, because Talia doesn't have Scout, but Talia has Pathfinder and possibly.
yeah,
Hunter.
Pathfinder. I'm thinking about using it as well. I'm just wondering if I'm using it in the right way. I guess it'll be fine.
Okay, so
'Cause-
Roman, you were saying you were helping?
Yeah. I guess when we're trying to hide behind trees and shrubbery, and like, I'll try to camouflage us, I guess. Adding more brown to the brown. I'll just use my large sack to add to the camouflage and put it in front of us. I don't know.
I like that. You have Scout, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's an interesting
Yeah.
use of the sack. I like it.
So Elfwin is looking at where there's like thick patches where we could go and hide with Pathfinder. I'm going to use Pathfinder to do actually almost the opposite, where I'm going to look at where they'll likely come from, like where it looks like there's walked paths and where there's low brush, and kind of anticipate like the direction we'll need to hide against.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Um,
That's interesting. That's very good. Oh, if this wasn't a versus, I'd say that's a good idea. But this is versus. That's fine. I like
Get
it.
us a check.
So Ardor. This is a versus test against 4 dice. Looks like almost everyone's helping.
I think so.
We have 4 helpers.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And Roman said get a check, so he's trying to prompt you to use one of your Burn of Earth and Stone or Fiery traits against yourself in order to reduce your number of dice down by 1. But you can gain a check, and you guys would be able to camp again.
Yeah, more camping.
Okay. I'm fiery, so I'm just gonna, yell out, "Okay, hide, everyone!"
Excellent.
I like that. Okay, yeah. Here you go. There's a check. So using traits against yourself reduces the die, but you gain a check. Checks are used to doing stuff in camp, as you know, other than instincts. So if everyone didn't have a camp instinct, you just need to gain a lot of checks.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're ready, the opponents will be rolling 4 dice to try to find your location. 3 successes. Why does it keep saying +1?
Why does it do that? Yeah.
If you're rolling 5 dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. +1 success. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think we can just ignore it though, because it doesn't seem to be adding it.
Yeah, it's like on the bottom. But you hide successfully from them. They wake up and they manage to rouse the others, and they go off and they're like, "I heard them this way. They're running away that direction." And they take off. You can kind of hear them. They're like out and about. But you have a moment to sneak away if you so choose.
I think we so choose.
I was gonna say, I think we so choose.
Okay, so who does what? Are you striking out, leading the group? Talia.
Sure, I can do that. So we're trying to find our way back to which place again?
The
like-
tent ruin over here.
Tent.
Just strike your way. You're trying to forge a new path.
Okay.
We'll say because your proximity to the edge of the forest, basically why the goblins hid here, just on the edge. I'll be obstacle 2.
Okay. So yeah, I'll kind of grab the map from Elfin and look at it and be like, okay, I think you have this upside down. Like, I gotta go this way.
This part isn't mapped out, but yeah.
For some reason, I find myself totally disinterested in helping.
So yeah,
Okay. So it's obstacle 2, and it's Pathfinder.
does anyone want to assist me, or am I doing this solo?
What are you doing?
Just trying to find a way to Tent City.
Yeah, it's independent.
I don't think I have anything that can help you.
I can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm doing now, Sean?
I mean, I'll help you.
I'm
No.
using my magic item, and I'm using a spell. No, I'm just kidding.
Then I do evil GM factor times 10.
Excellent. Okay. Well, if no one's helping, Talia will just forge ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll help. I'm just trying to think and looking at skills. We've went on this path a few times already.
They're striking out a new path.
Oh, a new path. Okay.
A human path. Opposed to our previous elf path.
Let's make it the
and,
best path, guys.
Matthias, did you mark your scout as a success?
Oh no.
Yeah, remember to do that. Just remember to do things, and as you learn from the doing stuff usually.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just start describing the people of Tent City. And,
Okay, because I don't think Talia's actually been there.
Use
Yeah,
as many caricatures as possible.
and like this is how they move.
Oh
And,
my
like
God,
it's just
no.
like
No, I was
just
kidding.
general information on Tent City.
Tent City
Okay.
people walk like this.
And it's this big and like
Hmm.
it's probably
Okay.
the northeast.
I mean, that actually is helpful because then I can at least know what I'm looking for to some extent.
Do you have Pathfinder, Steve?
I have Scout.
Yeah, that sounds like Pathfinder or possibly a wise description. So I'm not gonna let you do that. It's not gonna help.
Yeah, it's
But
fine.
you can still do that, but
Yeah, I'm
it's
still doing it.
not particularly useful.
Okay, interesting.
You don't know.
Corbusier, is there anything
He
you'd like
doesn't
to
know
do?
what northeast means.
Northeast, yes. Where are we
He
again?
points it the other way or something. It's probably northeast
Yeah.
over there, toward the
Sure, that's
sun.
famous
Is
Is
direction.
that northeast? Where's the moss growing?
There's no moss. It's been burnt. All right, roll your dice. I think
Okay, yep, I'm gonna roll.
1.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait. I am going to spend a fate
Ooh, roll at 6.
to try and reroll that 6.
Alternatively, spend a persona to reroll that 1.
Oh, can you do that as well?
Wait, yeah. Well, you can do it if you want.
You can't. Can you do reroll ones? What?
I thought Persona is add a die,
Right.
tap nature,
Yeah.
use a wise.
I don't know why I was thinking that would work.
Oh, sadness. Okay,
No, you
I-
fail.
still fail.
That's okay.
Wise.
Failure's part of growth.
Indeed. I'll mark a fail.
Hmm. Well, you're hungry and thirsty, and you've made it to the 10 rune.
Hey,
I'm not hungry and thirsty.
just took a while.
That didn't help. So I'm not exposed to the cost.
No one really helped. No one I think he had 4 dice. So.
Yep.
Oh. Why didn't you
Well-
guys help him?
I offered to help.
I think I skipped Corbusier on accident, but that's fine. It's not.
You gotta speak up if you want to help.
I just
You gotta
wanted
be
you to
helpful.
get there. So mark a fail, Talia, and you're there now.
I don't mind at all.
All right. Now that we're here,
So the tent, I described it a little bit, I think, in the first session. That's weeks ago.
yeah, we were just passing through though.
So it looks like the majority of the tents were kind of, well, I guess I'll just describe what you knew is that they were like they're having like a plague, and they were like having to basically make mass graves because they were developing the red wastes, which give people like bloodshot eyes and dying of like dysentery.
It's quite extreme.
But the adventurers managed to deliver what would be a cure to them. But the tent has fallen into not use, ill use. It's not like everyone's dead, but it looks like the tents that were not like completely abandoned were packed up and they moved on. Basically an exodus to greener pastures. It's just, yeah, so there's like probably a couple of flaps and scraps of tents, mostly blown over. It was probably abandoned in the late fall, so a lot of the stuff here is, fallen over, and from the winter, the harsh winter. Mostly it was the
All right, boys. I think
mercenaries
we
that
should
was.
figure out what went happen. Oh, sorry.
Mostly it was the mercenaries that lived in the tents and stuff, and some hangers on of the cathedral. But it has since looked like there's no small bustling town. But the cathedral itself looks like it's busy. It has candles and stuff lit along the steps, probably leading into it, and kind of, it's like made of black stone and red tinted glass that looks like it was painted on with a translucent liquid, some type that's kind of dripping onto the stone windows. What else is there? A small graveyard in the back, but a big massive mound now is there also up beside the graveyard. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tali's gonna kind of grimace and say, "Why did we come here again?"
This is what, turn 3 on the ground now? Turn 1 was Pathfinder, turn 2 is Hide. 1, 2. So, Talia asked, why were you coming here? Does anyone want to answer?
Sorry, why are we coming here?
Yeah, I look at all the grossness.
Two things. First things
The
first, we got to figure out why this place was abandoned when the plague should have been treated. I guess maybe, but we're not going to find that answer here in the tents. We're going to have to go to that place. And I point at the cathedral, which presumably is very visible.
It's very nearby. There's no test needed to get there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just pointing it out. To
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's probably
well, you see it.
It's
People there will know what
it's
happened.
It's a multi-story building, essentially.
But before we do that, we should rifle through all of these abandoned tents for anything valuable.
They're abandoned, right? Talia looks around.
I wouldn't.
If they're not, they are very close to being abandoned, and stealing from the almost dead is pretty much fine.
Talia kind of shrugs and is like,
So we should
almost dead?
We should root around here and see if we can find anything of value.
Okay, are you...
One sketchy ass elf.
Are you trying to think, are you kind of scavenge useful gear? Or are you looking for treasure specifically?
I mean, I guess it's probably pretty unlikely there's going to be any treasure, but I suppose I keep an eye out for it. But I'm mostly looking for anything that could be useful.
All right,
Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the I'm not sure if this was the same campaign or last campaign.
Mhm.
Is what you call it, fixed things in the world? Is that still a thing?
Fixed things in the world?
Fixed sayings?
That's if you use a wise.
I remember, I don't know if it was this campaign or the other one. I remember saying, treasure is always underneath the bed.
Yeah, that's this campaign.
Yep.
So I'm gonna look underneath beds with my secret instinct.
Okay. We'll do with the scavenger test first with useful items in the runes. I'm just trying to think of what would you define as useful? Would finding a poultice be useful? Would finding a hammer be useful? Would finding some other supply be useful?
Sure, yeah. Any useful supplies or gear that any of us we could use for any of our skills, if there are any, anything that any kind of maps, any kind of, just like I said, useful stuff that someone might might not be like I am assuming that when you leave a place like this, you take anything that's valuable, but you wouldn't necessarily take behind everything that's useful. You know what I mean? So we'd probably be more likely to find something useful than something valuable.
Hmm.
Like I said, I don't know what I'm looking for until I find it, but
Okay.
something that will.
I'm gonna say obstacle to scavenger. And
Oh,
Ooh,
brutal.
Are you learning it?
Am I what?
Why was it obstacle
Oh,
4?
I made it 4 by accident.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You just had 3. Yeah. Um.
Um,
I'm trying to think of anything. I think there's probably plenty of stuff here.
Find a saucy love letter.
I don't know. Going through it's gross. So you are I don't know. You're angry, but you find.
I can't hear you. It's cutting out a lot.
All right, so you're sorry. I'm gonna sit up closer. I'm not speaking. I'm trying to buy time and also speak at the same time.
Oh, okay,
But I
sorry.
think it's just kind of gross to dig around and stuff, and it takes you a long time. So you're kind of angered by the effort, especially since you only find you only find like a couple of pieces of parchment.
Okay.
So that'll be
Well, here you go.
That'll be supplies for like cartographer and scholar probably.
Yeah. Well, I'll give them to Tyler then.
So they'll take up a space,
dang
but
it.
it'll be provide a
You
plus one.
have space for it, Tyler.
But I should have space for it.
Yeah, so they'll give you +1 to like a cartographer scholar test, maybe.
But you're angry at the, or yeah, angry.
Angie's
I got
giving
you.
it to me. It was an heirloom.
Okay, and
What is it called?
parchment paper.
Just like some just paper, parchment.
Ah, okay.
And you
Mm,
want to
much
look
easier. Get wet.
under beds for treasure. Hey, Roman,
Yes.
with your
Lanky treasure.
Find
Not the
some-
normal kind.
Yeah, well,
Blanket.
that if we use a wise to establish a fact about the world, then it stays.
yeah, it
That's how
stays.
that works.
I think there probably would be a treasure. Would it be here? Sure. But it's small. Obstacle 5. It is a tiny little treasure.
Okay. I think I go hard on this one. Where's... Wait, what test is this? Exactly? Scout?
Yeah.
Okay. I will use Jaded for myself.
Mm-hmm. How? How does it help you?
I've searched through so many beds. I'm kind of expecting like nothing, but also being hopeful that maybe something's left behind. I'm not looking through it like hard. Just I'm like just searching, kind of half-assed searched.
That doesn't sound very helpful.
Yeah, it doesn't sound helpful. You know what?
Is it a
But I
factor? You using it against yourself?
I might use it against myself too. No, I'll use it against myself.
Yeah, that
Checks.
I think it's fine. That their description is like you're just becoming jaded and you're
Yeah.
just giving up your search a little. I think that's okay.
How do you do it against myself?
You just click
Oh,
the
there.
button. It'll drop down
I could use my nature.
with the persona.
Yeah,
And
with
then-
the persona.
It will. It's outside your
Either
nature, so it would
outside.
reduce your nature by 1 even on a success or of the margin of failure.
Sure. I don't know what inside or outside is. So.
It's outside. Outside tax is neat.
Oh,
If it's outside your nature.
does anyone want to? No, can't tell me it's an instinct. And I'll pop my heist wise if anything goes wrong, or fate.
Okay.
I'm rolling 6 to 5, which isn't terrible.
I feel
Or
like
it's
that might be
technically
terrible, but you got to reroll,
Yeah,
so that
I get
seems
a
okay.
reroll.
Ooh.
Well, to look.
Oof.
2, but I could. How does this work? I could pop my fate to roll the 6s, then I could pop a persona to reroll the failed.
All failed.
Right?
Yeah. If you want to
So-
spend 2 fate, you can reroll one failed dice, instead of, but yeah.
I'll do what it said. Or
Okay.
I'll reroll.
Are you to
the
do
two
the 6s first, or are you gonna do the failed dice first, and then
I'll
maybe
do
you roll
the-
6s?
Gee, I'll do the failed dice first because I might get 4 or all of them.
Okay.
I remember just like stealing from poor people, I guess, and seeing just my memories of that, and just starting to things coming back to me. Like they would put some people would be clever and start putting their treasures like in like the bed stands, like in the wooden, and would start looking at those. And that's what I'm gonna do it from heist wise.
Okay. So you've stolen from poor people before.
I
Yes.
have.
Disc.
So that gives me.
More successes, so you're at 4 out of 5. but
If I
with
roll a 6
3
on the
sixes.
heist, can I re-roll that with a fate?
Yes, I believe you can, because fate makes the dice. You don't re-roll it; you bring in new dice.
Oh,
You
okay.
would bring in 3 new dice because of the 6.
Oh, so it's better if I. Yeah, it's better that way then. Cool. And I can re-roll that 6 again, but I think I passed.
You already passed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you find a small treasure. I think it'll probably just be a ring of a dead man. But let me look at the treasure
Jeez.
section to see if I want. There's something as small as a ring. I was envisioning a ring, but if there's some cool little trinket that I would like. Not a ring. I'm envisioning a ring. It's a ring. Yeah, you find like a silver ring with like a little tiny gemstone on it. Green.
I'll take it.
You can put it on if you want.
No, I don't want to put it on.
You want to put on a ring of a dead man?
Not
Kitchen
stealing
cooties.
from them, but come on, you gotta draw a line somewhere.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I've stolen from people. I don't do it anymore. Not anymore. But this place is
I'm doing it right
ruined.
now.
Okay, I'm gonna write that in your bio. Edit has stolen from the poor before
Oh god,
in your background.
Canon.
but that's not short. It's not shui at all.
If we have something to drink to get rid of hungry and thirsty, do we have to announce that we're doing that before the grind hits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It's like, do I want to drink and get rid of it, or do I want to get angry and then advance my will with a recovery test? That seems too gamey.
He's
You-
gamey.
No. This is a game that encourages being gamey.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Angry, you need a check, and then checks are just harder to come by. Right?
Yeah. So wouldn't I want to do that then? Wouldn't I want to get angry so I can
No.
use my will to recover?
Never want conditions. Ever.
Okay. Okay. I'll drink my wine. Talia's thirsty anyways. I mean, it's what she would do, so I was probably going to do it anyways, but I was curious if it was like a quote-unquote misplay or if it was like a bad decision, but...
Yeah, no, you should always want to...
I like the way you're thinking in terms of game. It's just that checks are very hard. They're hard earned. So and you
Okay.
could use them in a myriad of other ways rather than
Right. Just
recovery.
using recovery rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, she drinks. She's thirsty, she drinks.
Okay. Yeah, so you find a ring, you find some other stuff. You head into the cathedral, or?
Sure.
You head to the cathedral, and there's like a note pinned to the side that basically, in very blunt, very big, common, members only. What do you
Common
do?
members only?
And like it's written in like the like human, I guess. The
Oh, I see. Members only. I look around. Are any of you members?
They might be interested in... We've had dealings with them before. And just knock and see what happens.
What is this?
This is a great big black cathedral, a human cathedral. It was erected in the midst of the forest, but since the forest has been burned so much that it stands alone in a giant field littered with, I guess, bits of
But the
tree
sign that
stumps.
says members only.
Yeah, there's a sign.
Does it look like it's? Does it look like it was made with the cathedral, or it looks like it was put there afterwards?
Oh, it's like written on a note, like pinned to the door.
Ooh, can I see if it has anything to do with the Black Diamond Guild with my wise?
No, you'd have to be a roll, and then you'd ask if you basically need a roll to do that. I'm gonna just tell you that. Wait. I mean, it's simple. There's no like cryptic writing on it, so you wouldn't be able to tell with just this note. So Elfin, you knock.
Sure.
Is that what you said? After some time, the door creaks open outward a little bit, a crack. Or I guess no. Would it be inward? Outward? I don't know. I'm not sure how doors work anymore. My mind is broken. But the door opens a little bit, the large door creaking open, and there's a voice in the darkness, and it's like, "What's the passcode?"
Talia just raises her eyebrow and looks at Elfin.
1, 2, 3, 4. Password?
I show my
Alfred?
credentials. That's the password.
Do you know the passcode,
I'm
Elfin?
flashing my credentials. That's the password.
And he flashes it to
Can I
you,
rem-
and he's like, "Well, I can't read, but I would happily take your credentials to the master." while you wait here.
Nope. Nope.
It's
I
like
can
like
show
a
him the
like a
credentials
long
myself.
gray hand like appears out of the shadow, like Take it.
I'll show him my credentials myself if you just let me in. My friends can wait.
and he's like, very well. The door creaks open further. He's like, follow me. And he like
Oh, good luck in there.
he like
I was gonna say we're
He, like-
never gonna see Carbuzi again.
he looks at you and he's like,
This guy knows us. The guy who runs this place knows us, so this should be fine.
Yeah.
he's follow me. And he looks at you and he's like, he sees you're like fancily dressed. He's like, noble, or something, because he doesn't really know what like you are.
Hope he doesn't notice I'm missing a shoe.
That's funny, yeah. Yeah, so you like enter the cathedral. I guess you haven't been here, but your previous incarnations of the players have been. And it's like this big, huge, like I guess layered. I don't know what is it. A rectory? I don't know. There's like a lower area, and then up a couple steps. There's a higher area.
Ooh.
The pews have been arranged a lot closer to the central altar. There's like a crazy gnarled, every which direction, kind of impossibly made pipe organ, and there's, you know, like you as your eyes adjust into the red kind of glimmer, the red dim. There's actually like several people living in this thing. The area here has now been converted into like the front here has been converted into like a live
A shelter.
sorts, yeah.
Ah, yes.
And as your eyes adjust, you see that he's like, yeah, like kind of a pallid gray, bald, missing teeth, and he's like, come this way, and he kind of like brings you to the front altar. Or do you follow?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow. I got swagger.
I got swagger. So he knocks on like the door, because the altar, like the organ, the pipe organ's kind of set on like a mezzanine above, but there's like kind of like space, like an internal building underneath the pipe organ. And he knocks on this set of doors here, and out comes a man who seems familiar to you. He was the kind of mysterious stranger that you helped come from Clifton, the pilgrim that you helped, and he's the guy you dealt with to give the cure to, and he looks at you and he frowns because the guy's like, there's some visitor here for you with credentials. You wanted to present to them yourself. And, you know, he frowns, but then spots you, and he kind of like stops frowning, and he's more neutral, and maybe quirks a tiny smile. He's a lot younger than he looked before, and he doesn't have any pallid
Good for him.
He's
complexion.
feeding on the life force of those around him.
And
You
he
look
and he,
hydrated, sir.
and he looks at you, and he smiles, and he says, "Ah, yes, the wizard of the group. I've been meaning to contact you, but the whereabouts, you see, are little much. My followers, they're not messengers. And the mercenaries have since forsaken this place. And
Well, we get around. We're bound to come up here eventually.
is your group around?
Yes. They're just outside.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have a name for this is his helper. What's a name like Igor but not Igor?
Borgo.
Jasper.
Hugo?
Borgo.
No, Jasper.
Jasper.
Fruvius.
I love Jasper. Okay, Jasper it is.
Good.
Jasper the help. I'm gonna add character. I'm gonna name him Jasper the help. No, I'm gonna call him the hand. Is the hand. Jasper the hand. Put him in. I don't know. Put him here for now. Oh wait, what? Oh, okay, he's at the top. How do I put him? In. Where's the people? Where's the section that has people? Locations, towns, dungeons, groups. My mind. I can't. He's gonna be in the handouts for now. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you know, he comes and he kind of ushers you guys in. In the meantime, the guy like kind of like beckons you forward and into like his chamber. There's like a desk with some seats, probably like only a couple, probably only like probably like 2 seats, and then like a seat on the other side of the desk. So some of you will have to stand, but he sits behind the desk and he kind of is like, well, fancy meeting you here. I believe I asked you after a bit for work, and like, would your group? Do you know if your group would still be interested in it? And he flashes you a coy smile. Your group enters, and he says, yes, I'm just making an offer of employment to your friend the wizard here.
Hello.
I turn to Elfwin because my main concern is helping Elfwin with his quest right now. So it's like looking at him.
After a pregnant pause.
That's your cue, Elfin.
After a pregnant
Yeah.
pause, the
Elfwin, you alright?
pilgrim says, "So, would your group be interested in work, or what business brings you to the cathedral? Converts, perhaps?" And he smiles again.
Did you say converts?
Still there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are
Converse, like
interested in
shoes.
any. We're mostly interested in what happened to the many who had congregated outside this place. It seems as though your following has taken a bit of a hit.
He says,
Kinda-
you know that. And he like coyly half answers only, like, yes. There's you know, as politicians do. He is a religious leader, and so he's like only half answers you. They kind of made their way elsewhere. I feel like this is gonna be a convinced conflict, but I feel like we're perhaps a little too short on time to run a whole conflict.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Let us end the session here with you talking to this creepy person. But I think his half answer is that they've left once the money was dry and there was few deaths as mercenaries do. Something kind of like he kind of like answers, but definitely is lying, sort of thing.
Okay. Half truth.
Sort of, yeah. He's like the politician will like, don't worry about it. You know, we have plenty of people part of our convert. Besides, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the new opportunities for work. All right. So we'll do our rewards now. Beliefs, instincts, goals, creed, I guess, in some regard, but I don't know. There's not really it needs to be a test of moral character that you faced because of it. So who wants to start?
I can start. I don't feel like I really acted out my belief this session, which is it is better to act than to hesitate, which
Okay.
is fine. For my goal, help Elpwin retake the forest for the elves. I guess maybe made progress on it since we made our way to Tent City. So we have like at least gone to another location where we can get leads. So I feel like that is progress.
Okay.
Yeah, and that instinct.
Done something.
Oh, sorry.
So you've done
Yeah.
something. So for goals, I think I had it before that you needed to make a roll in pursuit of that goal. And I think I kind of want to do that too. And so you've made your Pathfinder roll to
Yes,
actually get
exactly.
help accomplish it.
Exactly.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Your instinct, you've triggered it, and you're successful. It says if you've aided the group, but
but I don't know if I aided.
I think becoming a better cook might be
Is
very
still
good.
okay. I mean, that's fair. I am doing it so we can have someone that cooks eventually.
I mean, you can cook, but you're doing it so that you could cook for everyone.
Right.
And I think
For everyone,
that's
exactly.
quite a noble thing.
Okay, that's fair
So
actually.
So that's fate for both. 2 fates for that.
Okay. Excellent.
Who's next?
I can go next.
Easy.
Being magnanimous never goes out of style is a belief. I don't think I was very charitable today, although that's a belief I really like. I want to keep it. Anything worth doing is worth doing in style. I don't know if talking to the guy at the door just now counts, but I felt pretty cool doing it.
Yeah, but you have to endure a moral test driven by your creed. So
Sounds pretty serious.
That is true. We gotta wait for
the
a
point is your
hypothetical
belief needs to be
situation.
called into question, and you either need to like succumb to the temptation or stick fast to your principles.
That is
Yeah.
true.
So I think there would need to be I feel like almost like going into the sewers or something gross like that would probably and you would have to be doing it. Or,
I have to do something
like
gross.
it wouldn't be no, you wouldn't have to do it, but you would have to like role play it out as being something important to you. In one way or another.
My goal: win respect of the elves. I think Elfwin has become more reclusive, and we did not go to L5. Darn.
Huh?
However, I did do my instinct.
No, you
all I can really
failed
say.
your instinct. So you've managed to trigger it, but it did not help. Or
That is true. I am now
gain
missing a shoe.
cool things. You are now back to missing a shoe.
Okay,
so
that's
you don't
my
gain
goal for next session.
you don't gain anything else. Who else is there?
I guess I'll do mine. I believe everyone deserves help. We only met the woman in the woods, and I guess we are helping her, but we failed. We wanted more.
You didn't help her. You didn't agree to help her.
I'm gonna say yeah. We weren't
You
necessarily
explicitly
helping.
worked against that goal, like belief. I don't.
No, I'm like, I thought she gave us information. We're trying to find out the woods.
She was
Okay,
like,
whatever.
She's like, I have.
that was
did-
our.
She's like,
Okay.
I have a thing for you to do, and then you were like, but we want information, and then you just agreed that she gave you like a little bit of information. She didn't
All
actually.
I know is I wasn't gonna fight for that. Okay, I'm not fighting for that. Creed, the rich and powerful deserve nothing from me. No. Goal, get some spiky treasure. I did. I'm kind of considering not getting that because maybe a ring isn't good enough for me. I'm gonna say no to that. I did get that ring though.
So
Instinct.
A ring
always
is
search
not
for secrets.
swanky enough. Okay.
It's not. Instinct. Always search for secrets. I did. I
Okay.
got the ring.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, I guess to fate, because you're working toward getting thank each other. You've tried
Swank.
several times, probably. Not like probably like once, but I mean, it felt like several times.
Mm.
So to fate, I think that's fine. Fate.
For me, I'll go. Beliefs, instincts, goals. Belief, I will oppose those who act against nature at every turn. I didn't really get the chance to do that. The only lady we met definitely doesn't act against nature. She seems pretty free. My goal is to get the elves to help reclaim the forest. I mean, we've basically been searching for leads as to how to convince them. And my instinct was to make a poultice, which I did do.
Okay. Yeah, your instinct says never tell a lie when the try
I
to.
preemptively changed that for next time. I just changed it now because I know that's what I want to do next time. So.
Okay, perfect. No, I know, but I was just like, oh, you didn't write it down at the beginning of the session. No, but you did write it down. You changed it. Perfect. Okay.
Changed it just now. So I was thinking, what do I want to do next time?
Yeah. So working
If I can
toward the
think of
goal.
something right away, I'll write it down so that I don't have to think at the start of the session.
Yeah. So that's 2 fate, I believe. Perfect. Now we're left with Ardor. Ardor, clean crafter.
So I will never trust an elf. I don't think I enact with that one.
Did you just do something?
I
that
did
you didn't
repair
trust
the
him?
equipment. What's that?
Did you? I thought you maybe did something where you're like, I'm not gonna trust them. Like, no, you did.
I always act it out, but I haven't done any rolls that.
You don't really need to roll. You just need to point to an action that's like in game that had an effect because you've played that belief out. But I don't remember if you like didn't let them help you or something. I think when it mattered, you accepted their help. Okay, always repair the equipment.
So I did that, and unfortunately, I did not make progress towards getting back into town. Every time I try, for some reason or another, it seems to be impossible. I need more money.
Okay, yeah.
So 1?
Just a fate, yes. Now group rewards. We look back in our memories for the MVP and team worker, and we look back if you've made it, if you cracked a for Gallus humor cracked wise in the face of certain death. I kind of think that no one did that yet, so no fate, because no, was no certain death. You guys were trying to avoid fighting and stuff, possibly because now you have now you have 2 fighters, so you should be trying to kick butt maybe, and a lot more people.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just going with my instincts, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
It's fair.
I'm an elf.
No.
Like my first instinct is hide.
We already took all their money. There was nothing to gain from fighting them.
That's also a good point. Yeah, if they stole from them, then we might be like, oh, we can.
Except for clearing the forest
Beat
of
'em up.
goblins, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it's
What's
like
wrong with
it's
having-
1 week, like it's not the biggest deal in the world. They'll just pop up again anyway.
Oh yeah, were you there when I described the goblins, the entry from the goblins book? Is that like a goblins?
I don't think-
Goblins
don't
aren't
think so.
like made like humans and elves. They're like they pop into existence when like a daughter steals from their mother or a grand.
When you tell a lie to your parents or steal from your grandma.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
yeah, something like that. Where you lie, stealing from your parents or lying or something. You steal from your grandma, and then like a child steals
just
from their grandma.
Spontaneously generates goblins.
Yeah.
It's
So if like,
Oh, okay.
and it's like
like a
they're
gay like fairy tale.
weird,
Like on
and
Earth,
don't die of disease. Or
Pascal.
creepy, fighty,
Wait.
thievy, tricky kind of things.
That's the wrong person. It's Lavoisier, right? Who did the thing with the experiment?
Sorry.
I don't know.
Someone help me out here. You guys are science people.
This doesn't sound like a science. Doesn't sound like science to me. Just joking.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Sounds
of
like
the
something
Irish-
outside our realm.
We did the thing with the 2 tubes, and he's like, abiogenesis. It doesn't happen. It's lies.
Pasture. Louis Pasture.
Sure, that's the one. Yeah, we named milk after him.
Yes. Well, the pasteurization process.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Spontaneous generation. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
aerogenesis. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's where you're coming from. Yeah.
Anyway, that's
they
why
do
I'm
that.
saying, like, suck it. You're wrong.
He's wrong. Goblins exist. Yeah. Exactly.
What a dumbass.
Actually proven.
Be so dumb when goblins clearly exist.
You know what? That's right. How stupid of me.
Okay. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, goblins.
MVP and yeah.
MVP and team worker, correct. So who made a big important role and who made a lot of small roles and or tried to move the story forward?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to almost give both to Chris, but I know we can't do that.
Yeah, it's fair.
And
Well,
to like lend it, like my position within the party lends me to team worker because I'm like generally the person who's like pushing the group around and telling them what to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, I think
but,
his position in the party. I honestly feel like the conflict captain deserves a persona.
I think so.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Probably for right skill, right time, team worker award. Plus, he led the team thing to hide from the goblins again.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's true. He did do that. So yeah, I would say that's fair. So
I think we're gonna
Okay.
give that to Ardor, team worker. MVP.
Okay.
I honestly feel like maybe, depending how important the treasure is, it's either like maybe Roman or Elfwin.
Hmm.
Because he found a ring, and you guys are gonna huck that probably.
I mean, my biggest role was getting to what's her face's place.
The ladies' place,
Yeah.
What's your name again?
But to be fair, the ring might be more.
Marigold.
I was gonna say it's actually a good point.
We didn't really get much from her, so my role didn't lead to much, and the ring is more tangible. So
And-
I would
Yeah.
be fine giving
You
it.
got soup.
And I know you like no one's real goal was to find treasure, but I think your group's implicit goal was to find adventure and treasure.
Yeah,
We need
this is
treasure.
true.
Yeah,
I think that's fair, actually.
Is the lifeblood of any successful adventuring party.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
Like even though we have other goals, like the unstated goal is always get as much treasure as we can get our hands on.
yeah, and I think
And sometimes the stated goal as well.
mhm. Okay, let's give you Roman the persona then.
I could.
I thought we were doing Chris.
No,
Oh.
you get MVP.
MVP for finding the ring, and
Okay. I'll take
Ardor
it. Thank
for
you.
being the team leader, which I kind of forced on him, but also he did amicably and also did other things as well.
Like
which
I
is
said,
nice.
this game is very much like a trial by fire. You just got to throw them in, and eventually you get used to the heat.
True. So that's
So,
this
I-
session.
It took us like what, like an entire first like quote unquote season of playing before the three of us were like, I know how this game works now.
Yeah, well, even me too. It's like I was a little kind of shaky on setting up, and I was like too busy faffing about in the forest, which was fun, and actually really liked and enjoyed that. But it was hard to like delineate like where adventures started and stopped. But
I mean, that's also just part of the game, right? Like
Yeah.
we can get bored and go somewhere else, and then you're like, well, all right,
true.
go somewhere else then. That's fine. Save this for later.
Okay. That being said, there's just. I think actually I wanted to we're gonna name the session, but I also want to do kind of like what we think the next session will look like, just so that I can prep in the right direction. Because I prepped a little bit of here and there for like a lot of things, but I feel like if I was a bit more, I'd be able to prep in a very specific direction.
I'm thinking we should try and pump these guys for information, obviously, and maybe I mean this. I think that these guys are probably responsible for the burning forest because they're in the area when it was a fire, and they're clearly up to no good. Whether we should like openly betray them immediately, I don't know, but we should definitely we could agree to work for them if they want, and try and figure out what they want from us. But we should probably, try and get them to loop us in on what's going on so that we can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then decide what to do from there. We don't want to we kind of jumped the gun a little bit on the play called. We could have like figured out a bit more about what they were up to before we betrayed them. But we not so much for them, but you know, we could do the same thing with these guys.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking anyway. Plus, if these guys are definitely have lots of treasure, or at the very least will give us some if we do anything that's not explicitly damaging.
And afterwards, I guess I'd like to do some character development and make progress towards the goal that I've had for the last 3 sessions.
No, for sure.
So maybe we can.
I
come
mean,
back
once
to the
I think
town.
that's definitely something that we're gonna want to do. Like once we scrounge up enough treasure to go back to Elfheim, like that'll be definitely.
You probably almost have enough treasure.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was thinking, like you know, like we like that could be also something we do the next half of next session. You know, figure out what these guys want and maybe try and scrounge up a bit more gold and then head back to Elfheim.
Okay. All right, then I'll prep the cathedral a bit. It is an adventure in a sense that like these are. It's not a town. Can't do town stuff. They're not like necessarily foes per se, but maybe yeah. Okay. So anyways, so let's name the session then. It gives me things to think about. So prep a little bit of the town a little bit. Prep the cathedral a little bit in depth because it did change since I last did it. Okay. Cool. What's the name of this session? If we were to name this session like a chapter of a book or an episode on a TV show, what would we name it?
Well, there's 2 very creepy people in this.
How about like close encounters? 3 kinds. It's a pun, you see.
With 3 kinds?
Yeah, because we met with Marigold, the goblins, and this church guy.
Oh yeah.
Three's Company.
Mm.
All right.
The whole
Iron
point
door.
of today's session was trying to get
I
more
guess.
treasure,
I know who's getting probed now.
right?
I'm not
All
gonna
we did was-
door. We've been waiting for you.
All we did is try to get treasure this session, right?
Sort of.
Information
think-
is its own kind of
I
treasure.
think what you're doing is you're trying to suss out where the dungeon or thing that you need to defeat that was responsible for the fire is. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. We're trying to suss out how we can, vanquish the thing that's responsible for the fire. But we need to figure out what was responsible for the fire. We don't know. I have suspicion that these guys are involved, but I don't have any hard evidence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we get some hard
Marigold
evidence,
is gonna
then
come
we can
back.
fight them off or do whatever.
Okay. Close Encounters of the 3 Kind or Three's Company is what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Marigold, my dear.
Marigold, my dear. That was only like a small part of the session, right? I don't know.
Well, I don't know how small of a character she is.
We did a lot of sus.
She's a recurring character that's appeared in.
Yeah, that's back to our very first session, or not session, but our very
Oh,
first.
really?
Yeah, she's a callback.
She's like a wood witch, like a shape-changing wood witch.
She's like medium helpful, as most powerful magical beings are. Like not malicious. Might eat you. Probably won't.
Okay. Well, shall we decide on one?
Sure.
Yeah, we did
Let's
a
vote.
lot of sussing today. What best reflects sussing? Sussing makes us feel good.
Close encounter. I feel like Close Encounters might be fine. Just that, or I don't know.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah, I like that one. That's fine. I like the there's that pun of the 3 kinds because the Close Encounters of the 3rd kind is like face to face.
That was the pun.
Yeah. The first kind is just like citing them. The second kind
Like the
is
goblin.
like crop circles or something, and the third kind is like meeting aliens or whatnot.
Right.
Okay, cool. I
But
like
we were
that.
asking big questions.
Okay,
It works,
okay.
guys. Trust me.
Perfect. Let's end it here then. Bye, people who
Boing.
are, I don't know, if someone's discovered this in years from now and are watching the vlogs.
When the Earth goes dead and cold, and these are our only human archives, these
Yeah,
will
yeah,
outlive us all.
or like hello to myself in the future if I ever get this far in the video, if I ever need to recall this video for some reason.
All right, here's the coordinates for some hidden treasure that I stole and hid in the park. Okay.
All right, what were the coordinates?